Music matters. We were just talking about tea, right? What was the name of the tea you were saying clears your lungs out?
Mullein tea, bro. It's
Okay.
like it's a natural herb, you know. All the natural herbs be hitting the hardest. I mean, in teas, because I mean, you can get like the in the store tea, but if you get like the herb, like have like get in a bag of mullein, and then like just draining it and then just putting in hot water.
Dude, I feel like there's so many like natural remedies that people like overlook for like, all kinds of stuff, you know. Even even like less medical stuff, just like you know, like wellness and stuff. Like there's all kinds of teas and herbs and things like that I think people like overlook so often, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you gotta. Everything's good in moderation, you know.
Yeah.
Don't kill yourself trying to be the supernatural remedy guy. Like I mean, it's from the herb, but some things from the herb can get tainted too. So like, it's about finding the right thing that works for you. You know. You
ever struggle with that? Like one thing I think I've struggled with my whole life is like the balance between like making a huge effort to be incredibly healthy, you know, like not smoking, not drinking, and working out every day, eating right, and then like also still enjoying yourself. Like the balance is so weird to find. Yeah,
it is a hard balance, bro. Literally, like this summer was the most sick I've been in my whole life. Like I had like a severe case of tonsillitis like the whole summer. I didn't get to enjoy the summer. Literally, like I had a show in Minnesota. And I got it when I was in Minnesota. I came home and my body was just going through it. So it's to the point where it's like I'm a super like anti-medicine person. Like I never take medicine. Like my whole life, it'd be rare that I was taking medicine, right? Yeah. So this time I had to get on like several antibiotics, and then I was taking medicine on top of that just because of the pain from the antibiotics. I ain't never go through nothing like I guess that vigorous. But then it just showed me like I had to just slow down and like really take more care of my body more than I thought I was. Because when your body shut down, that's when you know, all right, it's some room for improvement. It's always gonna be some room for improvement.
100%, yeah, dude. And like it also gets to the point where I think it sneaks up on you. Like I had this period when I first moved here where I got sick. I never get sick, but like I got sick once, and then I was healthy for 2 weeks, and I got sick again, and I realized I was like, for me, it wasn't even a matter of like bad decisions or anything. It was just like I wasn't giving myself time to chill. Like it was literally a matter of like I was working like every single day, 24/7, and just like not fucking thinking about anything else. And like because of that, without even realizing it, I like would eat like 600 calories in a day, or I would sit there and like fucking like I would sit there and just eat shit while I was working or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we get to the point where it's like it sucks because it's like, you know, working super hard at something that's very much a positive in like most settings, but like the sacrifice is that like often you can give your health for that, you know?
Yeah, true. I mean, you need a balance, but I mean, you learn. Like that's the part about it. Like you're not gonna get it right on the first, I guess, 10 years of your life, first 20 years of your life, damn near first 30. Like it's just like it's an ongoing thing. And then like I don't know, they say like being healthy is a lifestyle. It's not like a new habit. It's a lifestyle. Like, you know, that changes everything. Even like if you going to the gym, like you got to make it a lifestyle. Like or if you really trying to go on a diet, like your dietary gains have to be your lifestyle gains. So your lifestyle got to reflect all parts of it. Versus, all right, I'm gonna stop this, but I'm gonna keep doing this, and this. Like
100%.
It ain't gonna really change nothing. Like, you know, you doing half of the work, you gotta do the full work. Like if you want a full change, you know.
That's a super interesting concept. I think when you make that lifestyle change, it's also a mindset change. Yeah. I think a lot of it is like a mind. Like I remember, like specifically for like eating healthy, I remember like I'd get in these places where I was like, oh, like I had a hard day, so I can go eat a bunch of bullshit. Or like I had like I worked hard at something else today, so I can go eat a bunch of bullshit. But then it's like
I deserve to eat this. Yeah, like, you trick yourself.
Exactly.
Like, when really you just hurting yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
but that's the irony too. It's like you say I deserve this, but what you're doing is it's worse for you, and you're making yourself. You think that you're making yourself happier, and it's like you're giving yourself a little like reward or whatever. But it's like in reality, you're making yourself unhappy via that.
Yeah, like you can't do that. You can't do that.
No, dude. How old are you?
Yourself. I'm 23.
Okay, nice. When do you feel like you found that balance, like between like work and lifestyle and health? Do you feel like you have it better now than you have in the past?
Yeah, I think I get better every year. Yeah. But I just think overall, like just as a human, because I mean I learned from last year, like I learned from 3 years ago, and it might take me another 3 years to understand these last 2 years. Like it's crazy, like how it works, where it's like I'll go through certain situations and then I'll reflect after the fact, or even in real time. Like I'll be having a conversation with somebody where I might get I don't know, angry about the conversation or whatever, and just the way I can like act upon it versus like how I may have acted 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I just see gains, like just mental gains, internal gains for like strong external gains. Like, it just, I don't know, it take time, because I mean, I'm 23, but at the same time, I don't know, I feel like I travel so much. I've seen so many different walks of life, you know? And I also get like wisdom from people way like older than me. So it's like I just use that, you know?
Yeah, 100%. That's something I've yet to do and I want to do more of, is travel.
Yeah.
I feel like, dude, you learn so much from just being around like tons of people. And it's hard because I think often like we're very quick to like, I think it's very easy for us to like seclude ourselves in like groups of people that we're comfortable with.
True.
You know, like only hang with like,
true,
like your real homies or like people who like you've known since you were a kid or whatever, or your family or whatever. But it's like when you get in that place where you're actively pushing yourself to like spend time with people who like you normally wouldn't be kicking it with or like, you know, be around. I think that like pushes you in ways that like you don't understand in the moment, you know?
True. We was talking about this last night at the show. Like, I was just telling the homie Asha, he's an artist. He stays out here.
Asha Amino?
Yeah.
Super fire,
yeah. Super fire. He literally just texted me. But
nice.
Basically, I was talking to him and I was saying, like, sometimes you got to tell people things and push people in directions they would never go just to figure out what do they have within themselves. Even if they don't tell you that this made me want to do this. Hey, that new outfit that I kept talking about, I actually bought that outfit.
Yeah.
That girl that I said I want to take on that date, I actually took her out on that date. 2 years later, I'm engaged with her. Like, you never know what it's going to take to push somebody to take them steps they didn't know they could take for themselves. Like, talking to the homie Kaz earlier today, and he was telling me, like, how he feels like when his friends come with him to the gym, it's more of a push for him to want to just change his body. And like, like it start with the body. I mean, it's your temple. Like, it starts here, and then the brain is inside. Like, so if your consciousness comes from your brain, that's in your body. So it's like how you treat your body dictates everything. So it's like being the fact that you need some form of like camaraderie to go to the gym just shows you like what anybody could do in all steps of life, you know, type shit. Like, it just goes deep. Like, the people around you can change you just like you could change the people around you, you know? 100%. It goes back. Like, you know, it's an exchange.
Dude, for sure. I think I've been thinking about that like a lot recently. I didn't tell you this, Mario, but earlier today I was like, because this morning we had 3 interviews today. This is the first time we've ever done 3 interviews in one day. Yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah, this is the first, like, more, we've never done this before. And earlier today, he was like, when we woke up, he was like hella excited for all 3, and it really motivated me, like, because I was like, fuck, man, it's a lot of like locking in and paying attention and like, you know, having good conversations with people, which is amazing. But it's like sometimes another individual, like, you don't even realize how they can push you, you know?
Yeah, true. You never know. And then sometimes, like, you pushing yourself pushes other people.
Totally, yeah.
Indirectly. Like, like it's crazy how it works, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever had any, like, collaborators or people you've, like, been in the studio with, or, like, people you've, you know, written with or worked with or produced with or whatever that have, like, pushed you further than you thought you could have gone?
Yeah. I feel like it'd be, like, honestly, a lot of the times that I travel out here, it'll be like settings where I'll record music in a different way than I record at the crib. Because when I'm at the crib, I have a like, it's damn near like a sacred room where I record. That's different than my bedroom. Like, it's just a room where I only record in there. Like, I try to exchange them because I feel like the crib should be, you know, bless you.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, like, the crib should be like in, I don't know, like, you need to have, I feel like you should separate it. I've seen some cribs where it's like the music is just like all around the house, which is nice. Like, it pushes you to want to create, but also you gotta know how to unwind and decompress.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be the hardest balance for artists, you know?
That's key, bro. Yeah.
But like, when I come out here, like, it's been times where it'll be somebody playing the guitar, then somebody playing the bass, and somebody playing the keys, like, in real time, live. And through that, then another producer in the room will be working on the drums and chopping it up together from like what everybody's doing. And then I'll be writing, and then they'll be like, hey, no, record that. And then we'll record in real time then that people are playing, like, and then we'll kind of like consolidate it. Like, if it's a little too crazy, we'll make it like structure it a little bit to make sense. But sometimes the things that don't make sense make the most sense. Like, it's crazy, especially like with music. Like, I'll come out here and I done made songs where we recorded with the performance mic with the speakers on. And it's just like the room sound, like it had a certain texture that we didn't want to re-record it with the expensive mic. Yeah. It's just like you can't recreate a feeling. So I feel like coming out here, I understand the feeling is more important than, I guess, the look.
Dude, that is so
look
key.
Good, but don't sound good. Or well, feel good. Like, they look good, but they don't feel good. You
100%.
know?
And I think that is true for like a studio setting as much as it's true for like a concert setting or a live setting, bro. It's like, dude, you cannot, in my opinion, like, you just cannot capture like the energy that is live in a studio. It's really hard to, at least. You know, it's like, and that's what I think people forget is like that, like, translating that level of energy in real time is something that we can like never replace. You know, I think people undervalue live shows for that reason.
Yeah, true. But I mean, also it's like, yeah, they had a video, Earl and Alchemist, where they was talking about like the best ever and the worst ever for like different topics or whatever, right? And then they were saying what's worst ever thing about rappers. And he says like he hates how like a lot of rappers at live shows just will rap over the track. They'll rap over the track, and it's kind of like, I understand where he's coming from, because I don't really rap over my tracks. Like I'll have some ad libs maybe in the background, like just, you know, for texture, because it's like at the same time I feel like if I'm doing a song that nobody knows, like this for the people who come from their friend bringing them, you know. So like that's the person I'm trying to reach. That's the person I'm trying to connect to.
That's
so like
they can spread it.
Yeah, so they can spread it, because first impressions are key. So I kind of felt where he was coming from. It's damn near like a lot of live shows that we go to now have stripped away, I guess, the entertainment factor of it, and have made it almost robotic.
To the club point where, night, a night out.
It's almost like, I love when something can turn into karaoke, but I feel like that should be to the discretion of the crowd. Yeah. I don't feel like it should feel like it's your karaoke on stage as the performer. You're supposed to perform.
I totally agree, man.
Not just lip sync. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
To me personally.
No, I feel the exact same way, and I feel like that comes with like
singers too, not just rappers.
For sure, it's everybody. But I think like that comes with people beginning to think about concerts as like a night out rather than like a entirely isolated experience where it's like the goal is like to present thematics, and like somebody who I think is doing this incredible right now is AG Club. Like the way that they're doing their whole like, you know, like they like did that show at the Roxy in LA a couple months ago, and it was a play. They structured it like a play. It was like, you know, there were curtain calls, there were background singers, background dancers. Yeah, it's like it feels thematic. It feels like a moment in time and a piece of the world, rather, you know. I think it's like, and it's interesting, and I'm sure you can speak on this because you're about to go on tour. I think when people start to play a ton of shows, they start to take the people in the crowd for granted sometimes. True. And it's like they stop remembering that, like, when you're looking out at a crowd of 1,000 people, that's not just 1,000 people. That can be 1,000 people that become fans of you for the rest of your life, and that can change the trajectory of your career forever.
Yes, bro. Like I'm a firm believer of 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
Somebody in the crowd that could be that one person that's gonna connect me to a lifeline of abundance. Yeah. Regardless of what it is, whether it's financial or whether it's not financial. Like relationships are lucrative. It just depends on like what you want in the exchange of the relationship. And no, I fuck with AG Club. They're hard. I fuck with Jody. I fuck with Jody for sure.
Super fire.
Yeah, my homie's like, she's with him right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, that's fire. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, but that like I totally agree with you. I feel like there's so many connections, and this is so true for music, but it's also true for everything else. It's like I feel like there's so many people who I've met that I had zero expectation about like our relationship or where it would go, and they've changed my life.
Right.
Like there's individuals who I've met because I've interviewed them or whatever, and it's like it's really weird in like my line of work, because it's like very often like I'll interview somebody, we get along really well, you know, we develop a cool relationship, then they play one of our shows, and then it's like there's this pipeline, you know, we do a live session with them or whatever, and then they just become close homies, which is the coolest thing.
That's community, you know?
I was just gonna say that because that's like what I'm really trying to do. Like what I want to do, like more than anything else, is build community and build culture. And it's like it's weird to remember, but like, you know, when you're looking out at 200 people that are like a part of a community, all those people are only there because of one conversation. Right. All those relationships began with one conversation.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like, and then it blossomed into like a fruitful thing.
Yeah.
You know? You planted the seed, the tree blossomed. Like literally, like
100%.
I was talking about that literally at the show last night. Last night was the first show of the tour, right?
Nice.
And then like the next show is gonna be in New York. And while I was there, I don't know, like it kind of struck me that like people, I just had like a bunch of gratitude for like everybody that was there. Like literally everybody was there. Like I feel like I damn near hugged everybody that was there, because
that's
it's
beautiful.
Like, it'll never be like that again, you know. Like I'll never have a first show for my first headline tour, and I know that. So it's like I'm going within real time. I want to like express that gratitude, because it's like as special as it is for them, this is special for me. Like you know, and this is special for me. So one day I know y'all will know this is special for y'all too, because you never know what the relationship might be with the person you came with, and how y'all bonded, and how that like nostalgic experience will turn, like it'll turn into nostalgia, and this will be a moment you could go back to, and it might blossom into more moments just from you coming to this one. Everything is for a reason, I feel like, and it all aligned for it to work the way it worked. And it's crazy that I'm in this phase of life now, being able to do these shows, curate these events, and be in spaces where I could welcome people the way I want to welcome them versus feeling like my hand is forced and I have to like curate it by the standards of somebody else above me. But this time we've just been doing it the way we want to do it, and I feel like that's the way you got to do anything in life, you know?
Bro, that is so beautiful. Like that, and I applaud you for that, man. That's so cool. Like the ability to look at the people in front of you, take a step back, and realize that you are no more important than them, and they are no more important than you.
Right.
Like looking at them and understanding that like they are the reason that you're here is so egoless. But it's like if you don't do that, you can't go anywhere. Like you have to get rid of that ego. You have to get rid of that idea that like just because you're on the stage doesn't mean you're above them. They're the reason they're there. And I think literally. There's so many people who fail because they never ever get to the point where they acknowledge that.
True. Like I feel like if you start from a genuine place and if you keep like I guess feeding into the root of why you are doing whatever you're doing, regardless of the medium. Because I mean I can speak. I make music, but it's like I can speak for anybody, honestly, because I'm a human at the end of the day, and we all are. So it's kind of like if you feeding into the negativity, you're gonna be a negative person. If let's say negative Nancy always walks into the room and be like, fuck, it's gonna be that's what today's gonna be. Like, that's the seed you planted. So like you can't expect like you got a garden full of weeds and you didn't try nothing to like clip them or make it different, versus walking into the space and affirming like, all right, today gonna be good. Yeah, today is good. Yeah, like even if the day hasn't started, you're like just restructuring your brain and restructuring your mindset, saying today's good. Like I control what today is. Yeah. Versus anybody else around me. Though people are extremely important to controlling and dictating what your energy could be. At the end of the day, peace comes internally. So it's like you can only control your peace at the root of it. You know,
dude, 100%. I think about that all the time. Like one thing that I think about is like why whenever like somebody does something that's like that like disservices me or like puts me in a difficult situation, I always try to like, and this is kind of like a newer mindset I've developed, but it's like I try to go into situations like that thinking like, why would I give that individual the power to dictate my mood? Right. Like why would I let that happen? Why would I give them that power? And I think like it's such a powerful realization to begin to understand that, like your mind, like you can actively change your mindset. And like, you know, obviously, but also it's like you can wake up every single day and like choose to try to be happy. And like that's not saying that you will be happy, but you're definitely going to get a hell of a lot closer if you try. Exactly. Like if you tell yourself this will be a good day. Yeah, it sounds silly. Like, it sounds like you know, it sounds obvious, but it's so corny, true.
But it's really not. Yeah. And that's the crazy part. But I mean, this coming from somebody where it's like I had to do a lot of self work. Like it was a lot of times where it's like I don't know if it's I could say maybe it's a cultural thing, and maybe like just like the people who I was around, or maybe it just could have been a me thing. But I know some people subscribe to this mindset. I'm trying not to subscribe to it. I really don't, but it's like this is an ongoing thing. But I know like in the past, it'd be certain things that would just trigger me. Like, it would trigger me to the point where it's like I know what this person's saying is wrong, but inside, I feel like I have to speak on that you're wrong, and I have to prove to you that you're wrong in this exchange. Wow. Not on some this show is better than this show. More so like in context to the argument, or like in context to the disrespect, I guess. From like whatever the exchange may have been, to the point where it's like I'm yelling and I'm doing the most, and I realize like, why am I letting them take away my peace when I could literally just walk away? Some people don't have the option to walk away, and it's like it got to the point where I really started, I don't know, like taking time to myself and like reflecting and being like, all right, at the root of it, maybe it's some work I need to do internally that I can't walk away from it. It's not that I can't walk away from you. It's like it's to the point where I'm basically walking away from myself. I ain't even structure myself and root myself and like really get like rooted into like who I am and like what my place of peace is, or like where my peaceful mind state is, or understanding how I could get to that place. Because I mean, it takes time. Like for a lot of people, like, I know people, you could say the slickest things that want to fight. That's not me, like necessarily. There was a point where that was me, but it's like it takes time. Like it just takes time to like build that strength and build that character. Because I really feel like it's a character thing. If someone can rattle me from their words, imagine what they could do in other settings. Just because you rattled me from I mean, the power of the tongue is powerful. It's very powerful. For sure. But at the end of the day, the mind will always be more powerful. Like, so it's to the point where it's like you could say a lot, but you can't shift my thinking if I control my thinking. But if I'm letting you shift my thinking off of what you saying, I have no control because you controlling me. And it got to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna let niggas control me, or I'm not gonna control myself. And we could be cliche, I'm gonna control my destiny. I'm trying to control my destiny. I was talking to my friend, like, she's going through a certain situation with her parents, and I was just telling her, like, you gotta navigate the car of your life. You're driving your car. At the end of the day, when you get out of the car, you get out the car alone. Because, I mean, it's only you. Yeah, it's only you. You're going to have a bunch of kinship, like, going in there, like, who done chipped in on gas, who done changed your tires. Like, I'm just saying a metaphor to their life. It's people who pick you up. It's people who give you the clothes off their back. Or, like give you new windshield wipers or whatever you want to describe it as. But at the end of the day, you're driving towards your destination. There's other people who are going to give you routes and give you the GPS, but you got to drive the car.
Yeah.
And if you letting somebody, if you got road rage, looking at them, you gonna go off path. You gonna wreck into the person next to you. You gonna go off the side of the road versus just controlling where you going. And sometimes controlling somebody's narrative isn't your job. People will say whatever they want. You can do the most noble thing in the world. Something heinous just happened 2 streets away that you'll never know about. So it's to the point what you can control is your peace in your mind and how you treat others. And how you treat yourself, because how you treat yourself is how you treat others. Like, if you having a bad day on the inside, it's gonna reflect that with how you treat other people. But if you wake up like, I'm having like the worst day ever, but fuck it, we still ball. Like, and you go outside and you treating good, people will feel that energy, and you don't know how you gonna get blessed from that, you know?
No, 100%. And like a lot of people think like that mindset, when you develop that mindset, it's for other people, but it's like, no, it's for you. Literally. Like, it's for you. Like I think I realized that from serving tables for so long, was like I would let like rude ass.
That's a real
for sure, dude. Like I would let like rude ass customers like bro, like I'd have like an exchange with a customer at work where like, you know, we were like not yelling at each other, but like got, you know, frustrated or whatever, and they said some crazy disrespectful shit to me, and then I would go home and I would let it ruin my night. And then I got to the point where I was just like, why am I doing that? Like, why should that individual who doesn't even know my name be able to like dictate how I feel? You know what I mean?
They don't even know you.
Like, they know nothing about me. You know, and it's like I think people use anger or like they will call egoism anger, right? And then use it to like validate that anger. When in reality, what is it's egoism? It's like me not acknowledging that individual.
Y'all listening? y'all listening?
But it's like me acknowledging that like that individual is probably so upset with himself and so irritated or sad or depressed that they're willing to take like their anger out on a service worker. I should pity that. Right. Like, I should pity that. I shouldn't let that anger me. It's like these are all connected emotions, right? It's like I think like pity and sadness and even empathy and anger, they're all like connected emotions in the weird way. But it's like when you can take your ego out of the equation, I think then you can like put them in the right place in a lot of ways. When I think you think about these situations with ego, sometimes you like misinterpret anger for sadness, or you misinterpret like sadness for what should be empathy. Like when another individual is treating you poorly, I think one of the best realizations of my entire life was when I stopped getting angry at people who treated me like shit and begun to realize that I should pity them.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta you have to have within your heart one forgiveness. That's just like, cause I mean, it's been times where we haven't shown up in the best way that we could have, and we forgave ourselves for that. Yeah, it's like you can't hold resentment in your heart, cause once you have it, your heart's tainted, and you can't have a tainted heart and think it's gonna like be pumping as good as it probably could have, or like even be able to love anything, like regardless if it's like a physical person. The non-physical things go a long way too. Like you could love things that aren't physical, like, and that could be dictating how you treating it, but you so busy having this hate in your heart for this, this will never be like fully like what you could pour your love into, because your love is tainted, you know?
No, 100%. When you found music, do you think it allowed you to kind of change that mindset and like alter the things in your past that you wanted, you know, that kind of mindset you had before, and like change it and begin to be more empathetical and like think like the way that you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, cause I mean, I honestly feel like music is just something that was more like in my formative years, it was just like so much bled and soaked into me, like into everything I was doing. I had a drum set when I was 3, so it's like, cause I was always just like,
dude, that's crazy. That's
like beating on stuff. So
I'm a drummer, and that's how I started too. Cause I was hitting shit. I would always do this, and my mom got pissed.
Yeah, literally. That's like this is getting annoying. Like we gotta give them something to channel this. So it's to the point where it's like I was always around music, and I always felt like music was within me. I was just trying to figure out what's the best way I could translate it. And even when I didn't understand what I was trying to translate, but I think like, as I know you asked how I feel about it personally, but I feel like it's almost a general thing. I feel like most musicians, if not all, we probably could say all. Like, I feel like, honestly, we're like hidden empaths. It's to the point where it's like we feel deeply about so much to the point where I guess our form of therapy is speaking on it to us in different situations over different beats. So like for me, I speak on certain situations that I know for sure certain people who are similar to me or look similar to me and who have gone through a similar life that I've gone through don't know how to physically articulate it. So it's like me articulating it, I'm already in a way manifesting like a cleanse. So it's to the point when you listening to this repeatedly, it's getting into your spirit, so it becomes spiritual. So this is how I could summarize it all up. It got to the point where I started realizing music is a spiritual thing, because I'm like I'm saying, like the power of the tongue. I'm saying things that will manifest. I'm saying things that are going into the universe. I know someone's listening to what I'm doing. There's probably somebody in middle school who bumps my music, and I know they're applying this to their lifestyle or applying this to how they want to dictate how they are going to treat their girl, or how they going to treat their boy, or like just they trying to figure out how they can get through life, or how they want to dictate how they treat authority. Because it's like certain things I say about authority, or certain things that I feel like about certain systems in place, and I'm basically instilling that into the people who listen to me because I have the platform. A lot of people have platforms, but I think it's to the point where I get older, so I get a little more keen and a little more wise to the power that I hold. Being that I'm a powerful source, you're a powerful source, he a powerful source.
For sure.
Everybody in here is a powerful source. It's just about how you channel it. Like I'm saying, like if you don't go to the gym often, like not literally, you don't have to go to the gym to be strong or like be powerful. But I'm saying like the metaphor to if you're not working yourself out physically, spiritually, or mentally, it's gonna get to the point where it's like that same power source would deteriorate. So it got to the point where it's like, all right, I can't just be talking about anything. I gotta. It's songs where you don't have to be like, I don't have to talk about when I was 16, I was trying to get cream, like on the big screen. Like you don't have to do all of that. Like it don't have to be that deep necessarily, or I don't have to get super philosophical about it. But at the same time,
telling your story,
and it's when me telling my story. It's like we watch a lot of movies where we didn't grow up like how some of the main characters grew up, but it resonated with us. And it got to the point where you applied your life into their storyline, you know?
I mean, I think that is like like that to me is like the epitome of like what music is. It's like it is nothing more than like other individuals telling their stories, us thinking about our story and seeing where the middle ground is. It's like all my favorite musicians, it's because I relate to them in some capacity.
Exactly.
Like I either see myself in their stories or I see them in me. You know, and it's like that middle ground is how we relate through music.
Yeah, I feel like we're like the vocal reflections of everybody.
Yeah.
It's just like we're saying the things in a way where it's like it might be kind of uncomfortable or kind of cringe for you to just speak this, or you might feel like it's cringe, but I'm saying it in a way where you could just repeat it, or you could hear it and not even repeat it vocally, and you feel like,
it's like disguising, it's like disguising the emotional vulnerability in fun songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the lyrics are deep, bro. Like, bro, I'm gonna keep saying the power of the tongue, bro.
Yeah,
and then another thing, bro, I realized like the older I got, like with putting certain things on my songs, it wasn't necessarily what I was saying it, but it was how I was saying it.
In what way? What do you mean?
Like my tone, like just certain tones that I use, like if I'm trying to have like certain vocal inflection. So if I'm saying something and I want it to resonate in a potent way, I have to speak it from a potent source. There's a reason why certain singers sing from their diaphragm. Like it's a real thing. Like it's a real spiritual thing. You unlocking some of the chakras. So it's like it's a certain. If you get deep, we can get deep. We can get deep. Like it's certain things that you could tap into that'll really unlock certain things within people. And I know it because I be at shows and I can see it. Like even if I don't say I know I just impacted you just now, and I know because it's a feeling thing. And when it's coming from a spiritual source, like you can't deny that. You know it's real because like, and when I'm saying spiritual source, I'm not saying like in a religious sense. I'm saying what's within you. Like what I'm saying,
it's human.
Spiritual.
But
like, when I'm saying anything that's in a spiritual facet is the things that you can't physically touch and see, but you know it's there. That's what I'm saying when I'm thinking of like spiritual things, you know?
Yeah, 100%. It's like I feel that way about. Have you ever been in like a room with somebody and it can either be like a studio or like whatever setting, but it's like have you ever been in a room with somebody and you all think of an idea in like a similar time frame?
Yeah.
Like it's like something will happen. Like you know you can be in like a room watching a movie with a bunch of your homies or like listening to a certain song and you guys all have like a similar thought at the same time and then creatively input that into the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, collective consciousness.
Yeah,
Literally.
yeah, 100%. And I think it's the same with people like you spend a lot of time around too. Like I think there's certain points where like you spend so much time with certain individuals that you just understand what they think on such a deep level to where like you guys think in tandem. And it's like that, you know, whether it's spiritual or religious, whatever you want to call it, it's human. And that's what I think about live music as well. Like that's the coolest thing to me about like, cause I saw that you're going on tour with a band, right?
Yeah. So like, I almost had like I had a guitarist yesterday, but Saturday I'm gonna have a saxophone player, a keys player,
sick.
Guitar player. I'm still waiting on the bass, but even then, I'd be grateful if I have one instrument.
For sure, yeah.
Like, it'd be to the point where sometimes I'd be like, I don't even need the beat. Like, you could just give me the guitars. Like, if I'm speaking from the soul, somebody's gonna feel it. I'll be like, somebody's gonna hear what they need to hear. Bro, I remember like this might have been either 2018 or 2019. We did a show. This was me and my friends. We did a show like in New Orleans. Yeah. And it might have been maybe 3 people like in this small bar, right? And mind you, like I remember we was just looking at each other like, bro, like should we even do this? Like it's 3 people. Then I was just like, bro, like if anything, let's treat this as practice. Like that's literally how I always treated it. Even if I'm at a show where it's not super packed, or if I'm at a packed show, like you don't know how that's gonna impact somebody and how they gonna leave. Whatever, like bro, I may have seen one of the greatest performances I seen last night. I seen something special, like, or even if I'm not the greatest you seen something special and something moved you just because of how I treated it. And I remember it was only like 3 people in there. I got on the stage and I spoke to everybody that was in the crowd.
That's so cool.
I was like, I like your shirt, I like your hair, bartender. Hey, you been looking out. Like just speaking to everybody in the room. Like I just kind of applied that from years ago, and I still feel that way now. Like making people feel seen, because I mean, when you're on stage or if you're like on a platform, people are looking up to
at you. Yeah.
But when you start looking at them, or if you get off the stage and like, I don't know, humanified kinda, it gets to the point where they feel like they're with you. So it's to the point where when we're singing together. When we're dancing together. When we're laughing together. Like it becomes like that real community experience. Like you're putting everybody on the same wavelength.
Bro, I mean, just to give you your flowers, like I think you understanding that as a performer instantly like gives you way more longevity than anybody else. Because I think one thing that people don't understand in this industry is how to make fans, and I don't think they understand the difference between fans and listeners. That's why we have I mean, that's why we have artists who have like 2 million monthly listeners. You know, they blew up on TikTok, but they can't fill a 200 cap room. It's because no one actually knows them.
They don't know them.
Like no one cares.
Or they don't want to connect, or even like the artist may be disconnected from wanting to connect with them. Well, I'd be like, I don't know. I feel like if you like my music, you must be listening to certain things that I probably like, or certain things in your childhood you probably heard that I subscribe with. Because I mean, I feel like a lot of like people my age, and then like even them, like we grew up like we was cable kids, so it's like it's certain things within that time period. We kids that grew up when the iPhone first came out, we kids that grew up when Facebook came out, Instagram came out, we're all from a similar era. So it's like being that we from a similar era, I guarantee you certain songs that you listen to that I liked when you liked them. In the same year. Even if we wasn't close back then, and now we just reconnecting now, we all aligned when we needed to, not when we wanted to. So it's like that's kind of how I be treating it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's like when you can relate to people on that level too, it's like I think it's I'd be curious to know like what the crossover is between people who like are like artists that are a certain age and their fan bases. Like how often, like I wonder how many of your listeners are 23. Right. Because of the fact that especially because you have like lyrically driven music, I wonder like if a lot of your fans are 23 because they relate to the experience of being 23. You know, I think that's why we're drawn to individuals too. That like I even if an artist is like a 6 out of 10 and they're from the Bay Area, I'm way more likely to like them than an artist that's like a 9 out of 10 from LA because I'm from the Bay, and I understand what it's like to like live that experience, and like you know I relate to that subliminally. So it's just like you have this leg up on people. Like, do you think you have made more fans in Baton Rouge and other places?
I wouldn't say more fans. I will say though, I knew I was kind of impacting different groups of people when I was like maybe I want to say. While I was in college, one of my oldest sisters, she was born in 1990, so she's 33. So I remember some of her friends, like if I be at the mall, like they're way older, they're a decade like older than me. They'll walk up and be like, "Yo, like you like keep whatever you doing, bro. I don't fully comprehend it, I don't fully understand it, but I love it. Like I appreciate it. Or if they didn't say they understood it or could comprehend it, some of them was being like, "This is what we've been missing. Like I'm from the same place you're from, and I've always wanted to speak the way you're speaking, or I've always wanted someone to speak to me in a sonic way that you're speaking. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's damn near my duty to be myself. Like, cause at the end of the day, it's like I'm not trying to be nothing. Like, that's the main reason my parents respect me so much. Like, I respect my music so much, cause they grew up where you go to the studio and it's a live band and you're recording on tape. So it's like you gotta hit the take. Yeah. Ain't no tuner. Like, so it's like you gonna keep doing the take until you hit the note. Yeah. That's the era that they came from. So they're a little bit more, I guess, cutthroat, a little bit more like when they're listening, when they go to a live show, they really listening like, all right, are you a performer? Are you a real performer? And it's kind of like they put that same expectation on me. So it's like I appreciated that. And the same people, like from where I'm from, like in Baton Rouge, it's like it's hard to move people. Like it's very hard to move people. Cause
why do
you
you think that is?
They've seen so much.
Okay, yeah.
Being that they've seen so much.
Right next to New Orleans and everything?
Yeah, like right next to New Orleans. Like being that people grow up not having a lot of resources, not having the luxury. Like I feel like being able to go to a live performance stress free is a luxury. Like that is a luxury of life that I'm grateful that I can do. And in the way that I do it, I'm performing. Like I'm not, most of the time when I'm going to shows, I'm performing. I enjoy going to shows too, but I'm not really big into like big crowds and stuff, because I don't know, I'm big on energy, and I feel like when I'm in big crowds, I feel a lot of energy, and to the point where it's like, it's getting to the point I'm like, damn, the older I get, I really be feeling people aura. I really be feeling people energy, and it's like sometimes I might duck off, and sometimes I might be like, all right, bro, I want to post up over here. But from my parents, I just learned like certain things, like the way you carry yourself, like in your artistry, is damn near how you should like carry yourself just in life. So it's to the point where it's like I'm not putting on a costume, I'm not putting on a uniform, I'm just going outside. Like I don't have to be like, wait, don't come in here yet. Yeah, I'm not dressed. Yeah, nah, bro. Like,
you are you.
I'm me. Like I'm me, and the beauty of it, I'm not the highest version of myself. You're seeing me in my most flawed state, because I don't know. I don't know why I fuck up. I don't know why I mess up. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I do that. But I'm trying to learn why I do those things, to the point where one day when I have a kid, he could listen to my music and be like, when I was 23, how do I go through this? Or how do I don't know, one day I might have a kid and one of his friends might die. He gonna look at me like, Dad, I don't know how to feel right now. And I'll be like, well, hey, like, let me tell you about the times I done went to this funeral. Let me tell you about the times where I done lost this relative. Let me tell you, I lost this cousin. Or whether we talk about friends that was incarcerated. I had a friend he was almost about to do life, like just from trying to rob somebody. Like I can talk about, these are real experiences that I went through. So it's like, being that I got this wealth of knowledge, I can articulate myself through sonics that way. And my music's not going nowhere. It's gonna be here forever. So one day, if it's not my kid, it might be my kid's best friend. They might stumble across, my kid might not even listen to my music, but their best friend might listen to it, and they be like, bro, like, yo, Pop's really speaking to me right now. Like their parents might be listening to my music, or like my parents, they friends might be listening to my music. I know my dad's coworkers be listening to me all the time. That's fire. Yeah, so it's like, you don't know how people are gonna be impacted by what you do in whatever phase of life that they in. So it's damn near to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna be me, and I'm gonna try to make sense of what I can make sense of, and try to soak wisdom from the people around me and the environments I put myself in, you know?
And that's what people don't understand, though. I don't think people understand that, like, the most, and it's crazy, because, like, they will develop this entire character, this entire falsity, or, like, another version of them that they can, like, play up to other people. But what they don't understand is that, like, that is so see-through that the second you do that, you lose everybody. And they think, like, that, like, you know, the truest version of them is not, it's either not secure enough, or not good enough, or not whatever enough. They don't deem it good enough to present to other individuals. But it's like, people so quickly will respect you if you are yourself. Like, I think about, bro, like, all my friends that I respect the most are the exact same around everybody. I remember in high school, this is something like, I think this like really rears its head in high school because you're around so many kids, but it's like, but it's like when you're around so many people, like I remember to this day, the friends that I had who like, they were a different person around everybody in high school. And then I remember the friends I had who were the same exact person around everybody. And those people I have way more respect for. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago, you know?
Yeah, nah, bro, it run deep. Like, I always knew like, I always wanted to be like a chameleon, to the point where it's like I can adapt in any environment, but I'm only adapting because I can understand the people, because I understand myself. So it's like, it's to the point where it's like, I'm not going to try to, I'm going to try to cater to your comfort, but I'm not going to put myself at discomfort, or subject myself to being something that I know I'm not, because eventually I'm going to get called out for it, or eventually you're going to get confronted into that reality. So it's like, I'd rather be like authentically myself, and then if you don't align with that, that's cool, but at least I was myself in the process, and I learned from you, and you may have learned from me, and then maybe eventually be like, damn, maybe I do understand what he was trying to do, and maybe I was just a little bit too macho for that. Or maybe I was just a little bit against it. I was so anti, I couldn't appreciate what I was trying to be, because you can appreciate anybody.
What it's kind of like is like when you are playing music in the car and like one homie gets in and it's like you can either then play something that you don't like that you think they would like, or you can play something that you guys think you would both like. You know, it's like a weird example, but it's very true. It's like
I feel that though.
Yeah,
because sometimes I'll be thinking about like certain music that I listen to. I'm just like, I know some of these niggas probably don't want to hear that. But at the same time, it just be like certain songs I just need to hear. Like, certain things like just be striking my spirit. So I just be needing to hear it at certain times. I'll be like, yo, bro, I'm gonna run this, and then we gonna get grooved.
Play whatever after.
And after that, like, you know, it be like that sometimes. You know. Plus, it's like when you do get your like whip for real, and it's not other people dictating what's on aux.
Oh yeah, bro.
You almost traumatized. It's almost to the point where it's like you gotta play with whatever's on your heart versus playing with these. You've been forced to listen to other DJs your whole life. Yeah. So it's gonna be to the point where I could be my own DJ. I'm about to be doing the most. You know?
I feel you, dude. That's my thing. I hate letting people play music in my car. Like in my car, it's whatever I want to hear.
Nah, bro. I feel that. I mean, like I like getting put on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, you know, certain things, it don't be aligning with the energy.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
I'm curious, like, as a musician who's like actively probably meeting a lot of people, you know, you're playing shows with people, you're always meeting the other musicians. Are you finding most of the music that you're listening to from other people that you're meeting, or are you finding it through like the internet still, or like how does most of the music that you listen to as a musician in a musical community, like how are you finding most of that music?
I mean, it's from all sources, bro. There be times where I be like, I could be in the store, I be Shazamming that shit. If I like it,
do all the time,
wherever I'm at, if I like it, or I don't be like too afraid to hold my tongue. If somebody's playing a song that I don't know, I'm gonna be like, bro, like if I'm not in a car, like, and I can't read it for myself, I'm gonna ask, like, bro, this hard. Like Uber I was in, there was a dude, he was playing something, bro, and I should have asked him, but we started getting deep into the conversation, and I was gonna cut it off to be like, bro, what was that song that you played? But from that, I ended up getting cool with dude.
But you already in it,
yeah. Like
I feel that.
I mean, music's music, like, and then I think music is one of the most conversational things you can have. Like we could look completely different, come from different backgrounds, but we could start talking about music and already we out of it. Now you comfortable. Like even right now, we talking right now, you comfortable. Look at your body language. Just cause we've been chopping it up. Like, so when you bring up music and then I don't know, you remove that from that. But sometimes my friends really be putting me on. I should be putting me on a lot of music. The homie Phoenix shows me cool music. It really be like, I honestly would say my friends put me on a lot of stuff, but I just like getting into rabbit holes. And like when I say that, like I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch this video, then they'll take me to this video, then I'll go on Spotify and then go to that album. Then from that album, I'll go to the producer. Then I go to the producer and see what else he was producing that year because he made this and this album. Like I just like digging, you know.
Are you still an album listener? Because I very much am.
Yeah. I mean, I always was. Like, bro, I used to love. I still love albums. It is like kind of disappointing though. Like now, it's kind of like make the craziest single or make the craziest thing that we know will go viral. So like being that we in that era, like we kind of lose the art of like just appreciating like being able to run something through, or like because you can have the craziest singles and they could be very cohesive and they could work in whole. Because I don't think everything should be like a super conceptual piece. Yeah. But like I don't know, that's like true. I just miss being able to. For sure. I want to be able to, if I'm vacuuming my rug, I want to be able to just play it. I don't want to have to get up or
think about
have to put on a playlist that I know is gonna be like that. I want to be able to play your album, like show me different sides of you, show me different parts of life that you didn't walk through, or show me show me how to get lit. Like show me how I shouldn't be stressing about this right now. Take me to that place, you know?
No, I feel that, dude. And I think that's the coolest thing about music, to be honest with you. It's like you can be in a totally different mood and it can just bring you somewhere entirely different. And I think it's like that was when I realized like that music was what I had to do with my life. It was like when I realized that like music could entirely change how I was feeling, like in every way, shape, and form. It was like music can change my mood. And that was when I realized, like, damn, this has so much power over me.
It's powerful, bro.
I have to give my life to it.
It's
you
powerful,
know,
bro. I seen Erykah Badu in Oakland.
Wow,
I'll never forget that, bro.
In Oakland, where at?
And it was in like this amphitheater.
Shoreline?
I don't know. It might have been that. It might have been that. It's not too far. It's near. I want to say it's near Berkeley, like that area.
Oh, maybe probably the Greek Theater.
Yeah. It was at the Greek Theater.
Oh, beautiful venue, bro. Beautiful,
bro. Like the one that wrap around. Yeah. All right. So I was out there, bro. that was the first time where I know for sure me and like literally everybody that was there was just like this. Like it was to the point where like if she would have said everybody go like this, everybody would have went like that. Like the energy was just that prevalent, you know? Dude, it's kind of like, I don't know, like music really is a beautiful thing, bro. Dude, the fact that it's powerful is just like a lot of people have power and they use it for the wrong reasons.
100%.
But that don't mean just because he used it for the wrong reasons, I got to use it for the wrong reasons. I'm going to put me and the homies on. We going to use them for a different reason. Like we don't have to subscribe to what they doing. And being the fact that you don't have to be on one platform. Everybody got a platform now. Hey, you're in denial if you don't think that's the case. Everyone has a platform. It might not be as big or people might not be as receptive to their platform, but you never know what it's going. Things change. You know?
Dude, that was I felt when I saw Kendrick. When I saw Kendrick, it was like I've never seen a crowd perform for an artist in that way. It was crazy to me, bro. It was like every kid around me, like it felt like they were waiting their entire life for that moment, and then we were all in that moment together. It was like there was like a circle of kids around me, and every single one of those kids knew every single lyric to every single song, and it was like Kendrick could have stood there and not performed. And it was crazy, bro. I feel like he is like on that Erykah Badu level at this point, where it's he is like. I bet it was the same way when you saw her. Like I just can't imagine that, bro.
Bro, that show was bro. I think that's probably the craziest show I went to. It was her, Mos Def. It was for the 20th anniversary.
That's crazy.
For Black on Both Sides. It was the 20th anniversary.
That's fire.
So imagine, it started with Souls of Mischief. They were the first people.
Whoa, you saw Souls of Mischief? That's
and it was
so
Slick
crazy.
Rick. Then it was Busta.
When was this?
This was 2019.
How did I miss this? I lived in the Bay Area when this happened. Bro, that's crazy.
And the tickets was, I want to say, $25.
What the fuck? How did I miss that?
Bro. I seen it. It popped on my phone. I thought it was a scam, bro. I seen, bro. I was like, it's this many people for 25.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Or like it was either 25 or 20. But they made that cost because that was the anniversary year.
Oh,
so
that's
cool. They made the ticket price the anniversary year. And I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's super
so I was
cool.
like, nah, I went, bro. That was crazy, bro. I just remember that whole day. I had to leave early because the homie I went through, he like started fainting.
Shit.
He was just hot. Like it was just like it was a lot of walking. So it was like
it gets hot out there, bro.
Yeah.
As you're going on this tour right now, and just speaking on all that and that live performance and stuff, what have you taken from those kind of performances? And like, what do you think people get wrong? Like when they're playing live, like what is your mindset with these shows? Like what is the biggest thing you're trying to accomplish on this tour that you're about to go on? I guess you already started.
Imperfection is good. I think like in the past, I used to get mad at myself where it's like, all right, at this point, why am I shouting this lyric? I want to say this lyric in a more suave way, or in a more way where it's like I'm articulating myself to the point you don't know the words, but I'm enunciating. Like I used to get so mad at myself looking at clips where it's like, bro, how are they gonna understand what I'm saying if I can't even hear what I'm saying like on this part right now? But now I'm realizing like, bro, if I'm a sing a note, it's okay if I don't hit it, cause it's like I'm moving around, I'm doing a lot. I'm a human. Like I'm a human, so it's like I'm not in a room on a DAW with a tuner. I'm not gonna hit every note. But that's cool because it's like at least I'm showing you this is where my energy is. And I think sometimes like even watching people fuck up at shows and still keep it going, I feel like that's what a performer is.
I love when that happens.
That's what a performer is. And like even like caring enough. I try not to. It depends on if I'm really just fucking up. But like for the most part, like I'll try to, if the song started before I was ready, I'll try to quickly be like, hey, no, let's run it back. And I'll try to say it to the crowd to get it together. But sometimes even if I don't have access to do that, I realize like, all right, this is for a reason. Let me do something that I wasn't gonna do. Let me do something that I didn't rehearse because this is how I feel right now. Like, and that improvisation, that's like me in my realest, truest form.
That's the power of the room.
That's the power of the room. That's why I be like, people be like, how do you freestyle? It's not hard. Like, it's like I'm just channeling what I already felt, and it's just amplified because it's 1 energy, 2 energy, 3 energy, 4 energy, 20, 30, 40, like different people in the room, and I feel that. Like, so it's to the point where it's like I'm just thinking what we damn near probably already are all thinking. Like while we're looking at each other, like while I'm looking at you in the crowd, I see you. Like for the people at the shows, I see you. Like you're looking at me, bro. I'm looking at you.
That's
like,
cool.
And get to the point where my favorite shows is where I'm not thinking no more. To the point where it's just like, all right, I'm in it. Like I'm not overthinking how I'm gonna say this. I'm more so thinking about how am I gonna make you feel. Like to the point where it's like I used to have a habit of trying to sound so crazy live, or like trying to sound so good to my standard of perfection, versus being to the point where it's like, all right, how am I going to strike a nerve in you.
Yeah.
In the room, all the way to the back, because I can tell you you want to lock in with me. I can tell. I'm looking at you, and I can tell like by your mannerisms, you trying to be receptive to what I'm saying, but I'm too busy trying to be like perfect. And super like I guess
like locked in, focused, like
super tactical, like with my words. Like I want to be super tenacious, but at the same time, it gets to the point where it's like I'm going to be raw and authentic.
For sure.
To the point where you starting to see me for all sides of me. When I am hitting the note, like if I do a run and I actually hit the note, you gonna see that. Or if I am running around losing my breath and my breath control might not be perfect on this one song, you seeing me when it isn't perfect. So you get to see both sides. So when I do hit the note, you like, damn, he just hit that. Like you have to show both sides, bro. You need room for improvement. I think we don't live in a time where people can fuck up and improve from that, and you give them the room for that. Like there's no room for that no more, and that's damn near why it's like a lot of people don't know how to get towards, I guess, some standard of perfection, because you never even got to being perfect to begin with. So how would you know what perfection is? You never had no like criteria to base that, you know. And
I think crowds appreciate that more than you know. Like I think like, dude, it is the coolest thing to me when like an artist is performing and they fuck something up and they're like, oh, like I just fucked up, like let's run that back. Or like it's so like I saw me and Mario saw Wakai a couple months ago, and he did this thing where like just in the middle of a set, and you could tell like he didn't rehearse this. It was just very obvious that he just thought of this in the moment. He got off stage, went over to this like DJ deck that was on like the other side of the venue, plugged his phone into an aux cord, and just said like, "Yo, can I play all my album real quick?" And just play the album before it was out, and it was the coolest thing ever. And it was like that. Like it's like so many people in that moment could have been all like, "Bro, fuck this! Like I paid to see Wakai, and he's not performing right now." But it's like it was the energy in that room. It's like you just know, you feel it.
Like,
you just
you know, he knew. Like sometimes you just know. Like sometimes you just know.
Yeah, bro. No, it's incredible, man. Live music is a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. I don't think in my life, like I remember when I first started going to shows when I was like 16, if I told myself like the way that it would have shaped my life to the point that it is now, like I wouldn't have believed it, bro.
Yeah, true. So, but I mean, sometimes it ain't for us to believe; it's for us to feel it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know, so because it's a lot that I ain't believe back in the day. I ain't believe I'd be on shrooms. Yeah, it's a lot I ain't believe, bro. It's crazy, bro. My life is just crazy, bro. Life is just crazy, bro. I remember being, hey, real niggas is gonna feel me when I say this. Certain niggas is gonna feel me when I say this, bro. Certain individuals, if you want to be called nigga. certain people are gonna feel me when I say this, bro. I used to be, what age was this? Maybe 8, 9, being like, bro, like I'm gonna wait till I get married to have sex. Or I in my brain, I was like, bro, if I have sex, I'm going to burn in a pit of everlasting flames. That was me when I was like 8, 9 years old, and now
everlasting flames,
bro. Like if 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-old me looked at me now, this nigga damn near be afraid of me. Like he'll fuck with me, but he did it like this nigga kind of off. Like he thugging. But at the same time, that was my mind state back then. So it's like you gotta think like a lot of people, we be having these mind states at a certain time where it's like, I never do that. I never wear that. I never listen to that. And now you fast forward, you get into your 20s, your mid-20s, you're doing all the same things you said you wasn't gonna do. Yeah, so it's to the point where you gotta be like, fuck it, bro. Like, fuck it, we ball. Like I said earlier, like you just gotta have that mentality, you know?
Bro, but that can be a positive thing or a negative thing. Like there are tons of things that like I never thought I'd be able to do that I'm now doing. Like, dude, I have a drawing of this studio that I drew when I was like 16 years old when I lived in my parents' house. And it was like
fire.
That's
super fire.
Yeah, thank you, dude. And it's like if I could have seen where I am now at 21 right now, I would have cried. Like I would have been like, that's crazy.
It almost damn near like if I seen some of the stuff that I was gonna do, it'd damn near almost be too overstimulating.
I agree, yeah.
And I'd be too anxious to get to it versus living and being present. Being present that's how you really succeed, when you can be present in the moment. Like, bro, that's where the longevity is gonna come, because you never was thinking about what next year was gonna be. You was living the next year's here, you know.
Dude, that's the hardest thing though to me. Like I heard the quote one time. It was my friend told me this. He said, "Depression is a fear of the past, anxiety is a fear of the future, and present is peace." And I think about that all the time, because it's just like,
that's crazy.
I think that's so true. You know, it's like literally like feeling anxiety is it's a fear of what is to come. It's a fear of like the potential, pretty much. Depression is a fear of the things that you can't change. Looking back and saying like, this happened because the fact this happened, I'm facing these traumas and I can't change that. That's the feeling of depression. But if you can be in the moment, like 100% in the moment, loving every piece of it, every part of it, appreciating it for its faults and for its beauties, like that to me is what real peace is. And I'm trying to find that. It's hard.
It is hard. But I mean, like, I don't know, being present, like, you damn near like allowing yourself to cleanse. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, like me separating, I don't know, cause like, bro, like if I'm making a song, I really do get deep into it. Yeah. It's like certain things that I'm talking about that I really was affected by. Like I'm not making it up. Like, so it's to the point where it's like, if I'm talking about this, is like something I'm feeling in my, like it might not be a current emotional state, but it was something, I know if I'm putting it in a song, it might have been something that I suppressed. Yeah. And being the fact that I suppressed it, like you were saying, like it'd be some past things that might have given me a depressed feeling, you know? And being to the point where I didn't feel like I could be present. But like I feel like low key it's a blessing. I could put something into a song and I could decompress and get away from it. Yeah. Not get away from it like I'm running away from it. I could give it to the universe.
It's out of you. Yeah. It's somebody else's now.
Somebody else's now. And somebody could really hold it and find empowerment from it like I did, to the point where it's like they could be a champion to words that I'm saying, because the words that I didn't make these words up literally. Like the words in the English language I didn't make up. They derive from Latin literally. So like the words that came from like the Latin language, I didn't make them. I'm just using them and articulating them in the way that I know how to code them, and you listeners listening to it decode them. Yeah. So it's like it's a circle. Like it all goes around. So it's to the point where it's like I know it's a power in what I'm doing. It's just about me figuring out what's the smartest way to separate me having this therapy session 24/7 and then just being present and understanding it's gonna be a time when I could talk about this. It's gonna be a time where I want to cry about this, or when I want to shout about this, because I mean you're entitled to that. But it's also a time where I could be just at peace and present and just breathe. Like sometimes breathing go a long way. Like just breathing and being able to have access to just letting it out, like, you know, in a moment.
Dude, that's so true. I like, one thing I think about constantly is like the idea, and this was like an idea that I didn't think about until my roommate talked to me about this. He's a musician too. Right. And I'm curious to ask you, is it ever hard, like as a musician who like kind of what you were saying, everything you put into your art is things that you live, it's things that you feel. It's like you are literally taking like pieces of your past or pieces of your future or your present and like writing them down and sharing them with other individuals. That's very selfless. Right. Do you ever feel like it's difficult because like as a musician, literally to make music we have to feel like at an like intense degree? Do you ever feel that's hard to like allow yourself to be okay giving pieces of that of yourself to other people in that way, like sharing things on tracks that are difficult that you still struggle with?
Yeah, I mean it's a balance, but also I feel like I make so many songs to the point where I can have the power to be like, this song is for me. I have certain songs that I'll never put out that are great songs. I know they're great songs. Like I know some of my friends, some of the relatives that I've shared them with, where I'm speaking on certain things that we went through. Yeah. Like it's to the point where you can listen to this when you go to work, and this is what's motivating you and motivating us because we went through it together. So it's to the point where it's like, I made this for the sole purpose of us getting, like, you know, to get through something, to even like laugh at something that used to make us cry. Like it's to the point where like, I don't know, it's like it's empowerment and knowing that I do give myself to the universe because I'm giving my art to the universe. And this is my purest way of like channeling that, or the best way I know how to, like at least at 23. It's gonna be a way where I can impact people completely different 10 years from now. But right now, this is my language. This is how like it's programmed in me to release this way. So it's like to the point where I know I can sacrifice parts of myself to gain more. Like I could give, but I also got to take time, like you said, to be present and understand some of these songs are for me to start processing myself. Because like at the end of the day, there's Wakai, then there's me, like another version of myself that the world will never understand truly, because I'm walking in these shoes. The world will never walk in my shoes. All I can do is just show them the path that I walk down, and that's from what I leave in my discography. You know? Yeah,
and I think thoughts don't have context until you write them down, which is like the craziest thing to me. It's like I'm sure your version of that is like, you know, putting them on a song. Yeah, it's like I
literally write on paper.
Yeah,
so like that's physically manifesting.
Oh, still, that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean it was a phase where I wasn't doing it, but now that's all I do. Like all of 2023, I've only written on paper.
And you keep it all?
Yeah, like I keep it up, bro. I'm saving them now. Like I got a bin. Where I'm putting them now. Like At first I was just like being willy-nilly with them, but I do want to keep them so I could go back and be like, damn, bro, like,
dude, yeah.
And then when the paper starts like aging and then the color change, like that's gonna be crazy.
So
you know?
sick. Yeah, bro, you gotta save that forever.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I'm saving all that. I'm saving my first mic. It's certain things I'm gonna save. Like,
give it to your kids.
Say, yeah, like be like, bro, like this is what I started on, and I look at what I have, like, but I still appreciate this, and this isn't less as valuable.
Yeah,
I really we keep talking about like kids, bro. Like it's like one day when I have a kid, bro, it's like I'm gonna try to instill in them the true definition of what value is, because value, like,
what do you think it is?
Value is like we put value on things. Like we go to the store, we put a value on a t-shirt that was made in a shop that was way less than that. But we put value on it, and like we market it to the way where I guess mentally you looking at it like I have to have this or I need to have this because we put the value on it. When a week from now we could be like, this has no value. Look at money. Money is it's
a piece of paper.
It's a piece.
I say this
all
the time. Like money's a human construct.
It's a piece of paper, but all right, we say money's it's a piece of paper. It's a human contract. Let's think about divorce. What is that on? It's on paper.
Yeah.
And you know how powerful that is. So it's like literally like it's really what you put value on things. Or like when you signing to the state that you changing your last name for marriage. And then that's a beautiful thing, and you putting that on paper. Like it's we put value on things. So it's like it's damn near to the point where I just want to show my kid, like, all right, you might not have. Let's say you want to have the biggest house in the state. You might not need that. But that might be what you want. Or you want to have a bunch of kids and you want to fill up the space. That might be what you really want to strive for. And you might start with a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Have value in that, because you never know, like this 1-bedroom apartment might be what roots you to understand and appreciate who you are and other people who are just like you, because it's going to be to the point where you might have the biggest house in the state, but that biggest house is gated and you're dislocated away from people, or you're not away, like you're away from people to the point where it's like you start isolating yourself to the point where you're so isolated you can't really physically understand what someone in a 1-bedroom apartment is going through.
Yeah.
Or certain things like if they had the privilege to have a backyard and run around, if they had the privilege to sit on the porch and just sit, no one's interrupting them, and they could be present and be at peace. So it's like you gotta appreciate that. I understand there's value for your 1-bedroom apartment, just like the biggest house in the state is, you know.
And I think the only way you value those things is by like being in a place where you didn't have them.
Yeah.
I think all the things that I value most of my life now are things that I didn't have. And isn't it weird too how like I can value like for example, like perspective is relative, right? So it's like I think about this all the time. It's like in my head, like the thing that I'm making and building and all this in my head it's like 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
But like other people, obviously they don't see that. They see what it is right now. But it's so hard for me to take a step back and be like, no, like this is what it is right now. But I see it 5 years ahead, but everybody else sees it right now. I'm sure it's how it is for like, you know, for your music. I'm sure you see your stuff going on like a national tour, but like,
bro, I be having heart-to-hearts with my mom where I just be
cool.
100% honest about like how I just be feeling about life. Like literally to the point where it's like, as like I be saying like as your son, like as being your child, I know what my responsibility is to you. Yeah. And it's like until I fulfill my purpose, I haven't fulfilled my responsibility being your son. Same with my sisters. It's like certain things I be saying like as your brother, I need to do this. Yeah. As your brother, like, or even like with what I feel my life purpose is, because I know I've talked to certain people and they physically told me my songs has saved some form of themselves during life and saved their life in certain ways. So being that I know I have that power, it's up for me to utilize that so I can give something back to my family. Yeah. So my family could give to other families, and then those other families could get to other families, to the point where it's like we're building some form of lineage that's through positivity. Yeah. Like through something greater than me, because I know music is greater than me. I know the power that it has. Like I make a song right now in my bedroom in Louisiana, and it goes to Norway. It goes to Germany. It goes to South Africa. I know that it could spread. Like being that we have technology that can do that is a powerful thing. But it's like also I have certain ideas that transcend what my 23-year-old physical body can fully understand, or like not even me understanding it. Because for the most part, I'll be figuring out as I go in certain things. But I also know my thoughts and my intellect just of self like transcends what a blog might think of what I'm going to be. Yeah. I know what I'm going to be. Like you can't see the story that's running through my head or running through my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
But in middle school, the things I said I was going to do, I've done.
You're done.
It's like, and it's other things that I'm going to continue to do, and I'm going to keep, I guess, Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you, bro.
Like I'm gonna keep pushing everything that I said I wanted to do, but I'm not gonna be stuck in the fact that this mindset or the mentality I had when I was 12 years old is end all. Yeah, like we're gonna take it back to the gym. You go to the gym and say, I want to gain 10 pounds and I want to get ripped. You gain 10 pounds and then you're ripped, and then it's like, all right, I'm done. You stop going to the gym. You stop going to the gym. All right, I reach 1 million people. Am I done? I reached 1 million people when it's still 1 million people not being able to understand how to cope with certain things. So I'm not truly done. I'm not, all right, to the point where it's like
you're never done.
I could cash out on 100K. Does my mom have 100K? Does my sister have 100K? Does my grandmother have 100K? I'm not done. I'm nowhere near done. And then I guess we could put it to like whatever medium I'm in. I'm trying to figure out how to be elite in music. And music is a beautiful thing, but there's other things that I want to do. It's other people and other places I want to impact. It's a lot of community building that I want to do. It's like where I'm from, we're deprived of so much. Yeah. Until I can get into these spaces, and that's what music is for me. I could walk into rooms that some people don't have access or don't have the privilege to walk into, and being that I'm walking into that, I'm gonna shine my light, and that light is gonna show me the pathway to get to those things that transcend what my 23-year-old self can do right now. You know, like in a deeper sense, and it's not for everyone to understand that, because if I went by those standards, I wouldn't be doing music, because it was people who told me I shouldn't have. So I was like, if I would have went by their narrative, I would have never gotten to where I was now.
But do you think they can get to a place where they understand that they can do the same thing, or no? Like, do you think everybody has that within them?
Yes. Like I said, we all are power sources. It's just you can taint your heart and you can taint your power source. Yeah. Like, it's like with anything, bro. Like, if you in your crib and you keep the blinds up and you got plants, your plants are gonna die. Yeah. Literally. Like, so it's like, it's to the point where you have to change things around you. But before you could change anything around you, you got to change yourself. Literally. And like you were saying, bro, it takes time. And I feel like my biggest gains came from loss. Literally. I had to lose things. Yeah. I had to lose bread. I had to lose friends. I had to lose relationships for me to understand and appreciate the value of them, you know? Or the value of myself. Like, I understand, like, when I've lost certain people, it wasn't that they cut me off. It's certain people I had to cut off to grow and understand, like, I'm dependent on you, and I'm not self-efficient enough, or I'm not strong enough to carry the weight of both of us. I have to learn how to carry myself. And then, hey, come on, bro. Hey, I've been in the gym. Like
yeah, for sure.
It hurt a little bit, but hurt means gain. Yeah. My muscles break down to rebuild themselves. Like, you know.
I think it's difficult too to get to the place where like you accept the fact that people will leave your life. Like, that was a hard thing for me. It's like you got to get to this mindset where it's like, you know that people will leave, and you know if they're meant to be in your life, they'll come back around. It'll just work. And I do really, really believe in the idea that like you attract the energy that you put out. And I think if you attract the energy that you put out, the longer you put out what is truly you, the people that are meant to be around you will automatically gravitate towards you. And you can't, like, I had a friend who recently had a conversation with him about this, and he was telling me, like, you can't go after those people. Like, if those people leave and, you know, they're not around you anymore, they aren't, like, in your world, they're in your life anymore, you can't chase them, because that's just going to push them further away. Yeah. You have to get to a place where it's like you accept that this person and your path and their path right now are not meant to cross. Right. That does not mean they're not going to cross in the future, but right now they're not meant to cross.
Yeah, like, what's meant to be will be. Always.
Yeah, no, 100%. So you've been putting stuff out since 2018, right?
Yeah, even before that, honestly.
When did you like see any kind of tipping point? Like, when you think back at the last like 5 years and putting stuff out, past 5 or 6 years, what do you think the biggest tipping point was? What point do you think, or like when do you think you hit a point where that you found some momentum?
I say like 2021. I started catching my stride through the singles I was putting out. I put out a song called Lively, and it started getting, like, I guess the most coverage I've gotten to that point, to the point where all of the journalists that were covering it were showing it in group chats with their other friends who were journalists, to the point where, like, a community of journalists just started becoming, like, homies with me. Yeah. Like, appreciating me. In the same way with certain producers around that time period, from me putting out certain songs with a producer, they all wanted to be a part of that. Or, like, they felt like it was a shift. Like, they felt like it was the start of me pushing a certain sound that they didn't feel like was being touched. So it's like, it started building from that, and I kind of really, like, the songs I was making was a certain energy that I was able to capitalize on the momentum of every song that I was putting out, and it just kept growing.
when you look back at that time, do you think you understood like in the moment that was when things were going to start spiraling and start like going in the right direction, or was it hard to take a step back in the moment? Like, how did you begin to capitalize on that momentum? Because there's a lot of people who like they find that, then they don't capitalize on that momentum. What do you think the biggest thing was that you did then that allowed you to continue forward?
I listen to my team. I listen to listen to them, listen to my friends, the people who I played the music for. Like I could just tell the way it moved them.
Yeah.
In comparison to other things that I did to that point. And then I don't know, I just removed pride from it, like to the point where it's like my favorite song might not be the biggest song, but I understand this song holds some weight, or it has something's correlating with other things in somebody's life right now with my music. So I have to push this. And this song is probably gonna do that too, to another level, to another extent. And it might sound completely different, but it's the energy. Like it's the energy that I'm putting out, and it kind of started growing and started blossoming. Also, I learned how to take true constructive criticism the right way.
That's so hard. Yeah.
Like I was reading, I don't even remember what the name of the article was, but it was saying like learning how to decipher constructive criticism, or just learning a critic that just has a subjective lens on what you're doing. Because it's sometimes people like we could be in separate mediums, and your critique might be what I need more than another rapper.
Yeah.
A painter can tell me about my art. I'm not telling him how to paint on his canvas, but I can be like, hey bro, like imagine if you would have used this colorway. It would have been a completely different painting that even more people may have loved. You know, like being able to take that constructive criticism can build, and you can expand and get greater. Because I haven't made my greatest song. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. I know that I'm not stuck. Like I'm not stuck on my biggest songs that I've ever made. I'm not stuck on that. Like I can't go back and be 20 no more. I can't go back and be 21 no more. I'm 23, and this is the wisest I've been. This is the sharpest I've been. This is the healthiest I've been. So I'm going to make things greater like than I made back then. That's the beauty of it. And I'm not stuck in my ways. I feel like a lot of artists, they make something so great in a certain phase of their life that they get stuck in that phase of their life, and they like, and let's get the band back together. Let's like they get stuck in that way when it's like, nah, bro. Like if anything,
keep moving.
I'm building community, and I'm learning from this artist. I'm learning from this guitarist. I'm learning from people who don't even make the same music that I make, to the point where it's like my music is going to expand, you know, because my whole thought process is expanding.
That to
I'm not
me,
stuck in my ways. You know?
That to me is what people don't understand, like ever really, is like that building your community is what like 99% of your job should be catered to be honest. Like I feel like outside of the music, that is the most important thing. It's creating a community and a fan base where people like they don't just care about like certain songs, they care about Wakai.
Yeah,
that is something that I think people get wrong 99% of the time, you know.
They just try to put the music.
Yeah.
Go to the show. Who are you?
Yeah, exactly,
like,
bro.
They go to the show, don't even know who you are. Like that'd be the thing with me. Like I try to show people who I am, and then also like I think I get better with it the more people like are seeing me, or I get into like the viewpoint of a lot of people. I can show them more sides of me than just like my sonic value. I can show you my value of like just my mind. I feel like my mind is crazy. That's why music is crazy, you know? Like the things that I think about are the things that I don't say in songs that you just get from having a conversation with me.
For sure.
And I feel like I'm very conversational with the people who listen to me. And at the shows, that's why I feel like I thrive the best, because it's like there's certain things that you're not going to hear in the song that I'm going to tell you, like from us just talking and us exchanging energy. Oh,
that's so beautiful, bro. I feel like people don't ever dedicate time to that part of it either. And it's like that to me is like, dude, that is half of it. It's like, dude, I guarantee you, like to circle back to that show you were talking about, they did that bar with like 3 people.
Right.
There's no way those people are not Wakai fans right now.
Yeah.
Those 3 individuals that you took the time to like sit there and talk to.
And imagine how they feel. Imagine how proud they are of me now.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm the same. Like I'm in essence, so cool. In essence, like technically, skill wise, I got better, but my character was still the same.
You're still
like,
you.
I still have that same character, you know?
Yeah, no, dude, that's so beautiful. When your parents kind of saw you like get to this place where you're getting more successful, you said they really, really respected you because of like the kind of music you were making, you said? Did they grow up on like similar stuff in that vein? And like what was their kind of reaction when the ball started rolling?
I mean, my pops helped me, like, with the first setup I ever had, he helped me do it.
That's so sick.
He was the first person who brought me to the studio.
Yeah.
He exposed, if anything, he exposed me to the music. Like, or like the music in my formative years that I was saying that I didn't understand I was getting put on. Like, or we took a lot, my aunt, it lives in Pearland, like it's like outside of Houston.
Okay.
So we would spend a lot of times driving to Texas, and he'd just be like, on aux playing a lot of things, and I remember specific things that I loved.
What kind of stuff was he playing?
From like from 80s era rap, 90s rap, to psychedelic funk, to rock, to jazz, to gospel. Like he'll be playing like everything. Like I'll never forget. Like I think one of the first rap songs I remember, he played LL Cool J, I Need Love.
Wow, okay.
I just used to love them chords. Like ironic enough, like I Need Love, I love the chords. Like something about them electric pianos. Like I just and then even to now, like on the first project I put out, Dark Boy, I got a song called Close Shadows, and those chords are reminiscent of that.
Cool.
I like the electric piano that I just love. Like certain Rhodes instruments from him playing Roy Ayers when I was little. Like I just subscribed to that. My mama playing certain India.Arie songs, certain Mary J. Blige songs that I fully love. I appreciate the gospel. I appreciate everything that they was putting me on. And on top of that, I can't give credit just to my parents, because it's like I have 2 older sisters.
Cool.
Who damn near treat me like having four parents.
Yeah.
Older than me. My oldest sister, she's 10 years older than me.
Okay, yeah.
And if it really like how she be moving, it's almost like she's 20 years older than me. She just was always that way.
Wise.
She's just like, she's very wise. She's super wise. I feel like I take parts of, like, she has like this, she has an old soul. Cool. And it's kind of like, I'm the youngest in my friend group. I'm always used to be, I'm the youngest son. Yeah. I'm the youngest in my friend group, but I never felt like I was the youngest in the room.
Interesting.
I just feel like I was just.
It's probably because you were around so many people that were older and more wise, and were paving the way.
They showed me how to move, and they just showed me, like, I don't know, just be yourself, like, 100%. Like, and then also, like, when I was young, being a kid, like, don't rush your youth. That's key. Take pride in your youth, because the wisest person knows nothing at all, and that's a youthful mindset.
Or your art, even your art. I think people are so, and I think I struggled with this for a long time, like rushing your artistic career, or like rushing, your life and your career in general. I think artists become victim to this a lot, but it's like getting to the place where it's like, I want to be successful now. I want to get on now. I want to, drop this tomorrow, and then my life be changed. But like, you have to get to this place and this mindset where you appreciate the day, you appreciate the journey. It's like,
have to,
because it's like, if all you want is one thing, when you get there, you'll hate your life, because that's all you ever wanted. That's all you ever cared about. You weren't appreciating the day and the journey and the process.
Appreciate it, bro. Like I be thinking, like, for example, somebody like Joey Badass, he was like 15, 16 when he blew. Yeah. And you look at all his interviews now. Like I highly recommend watching the Joey Badass interview now. He has a specific one with what's his name? Tariq in the OGM show in Power. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, like they have a podcast. It's fire. Where they get everybody from the Power cast and they talk to the members.
Nice. Okay, cool.
The different members interview each other. Like it's very fire. But basically they went from they was like, let's start from your roots, bro. What was it like blowing up so young? And he was saying, like, bro, honestly, I was not mentally prepared for it. And he said he lost a lot of opportunities because he was just not ready for it, as most kids aren't. And I've been thinking, like, bro, like when I was 17, I still feel like I was cold. I still feel like I know what a good beat is. I know if I do more shows, I will be a good performer. I was nowhere near as a good performer as I am now. Yeah. But it's like I still had that confidence, and I still feel like I'm deserving of this. I'm super deserving. I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. Versus now, it's just like, I know my time's gonna come. I'm putting in the work. I'm showing people I'm consistently putting in the work. I'm growing. At 23, I'm just now getting ready to be mentally prepared for if it go up, I'm ready. I'm not folding. It's not gonna be a point where I'm like, this is too much for me. This is too much for me. I'm not ready, or it's not gonna be a point where I'm lashing out or getting angry at the people around me for what I asked for. I feel like if I was a teenager, I would be doing that. Because I wouldn't have the mental strength or the mental stability to go through certain things that you had to go through. Because like I feel like the industry that I'm trying to pursue in, it's not that I love every part of it. I just love the impact I get from the people a part of it. Yeah. So it's damn near to the point where I damn near want to separate myself from what the industry is now and just gather all the people from it and gather the knowledge from certain things that are lucrative from the industry that I'm trying to get into. I didn't know that when I was a teenager. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I want to sign to Motown. I want to sign to RCA. Yeah. That's what I wanted. I see other artists doing things that I wanted. I see other artists with certain clothes that I wanted, certain cars that I wanted, doing certain festivals that I wanted to be on. Then you look at like the people throwing the festivals, and some of them people corrupt. Yeah. Some of the people are doing things I don't morally align with, but I didn't know that when I was a teenager. So it's like, it's all a blessing, bro. I think people are seeing me right when they needed to see me versus when they wanted to see me.
One of my favorite quotes ever is,
when I wanted them to.
What'd you say? Yeah.
I say when they wanted to see me, when I wanted them to see me, type shit.
Yeah. But my version of that is always like, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Like, I love that quote. I think of like, if preparation is the y-axis, opportunity is the x-axis. It's like luck is when they meet, and and I think that's why you got to be thankful for like your career that takes forever. You know what I mean? Like if your career takes if you put your head down and no one sees what you're doing for 10 years and you're working every single day on your craft, when they see you on year 10, day 1, you're gonna be a master, and then you're out of here, you know, and you're ready for it.
Exactly, bro. That's kind of how I feel, bro. I've been decked off like. The amount of what I'm doing now, I was always doing it. It's just more people care, I guess, or I'm seeing more people care. I think people have always cared, and I've learned the people that do care pour into them versus looking for the people who don't care. Literally, like in all relationships, friend relationships, I stopped pouring into the people that I was chasing, like you said. Yeah. I started pouring into the people like, damn, bro, it's raining outside. I done called you 3 times and you ain't answer. Yeah. I called this person. They picked up before it even rang. Yeah. Why am I avoiding this person? This person has genuine love for me, genuine support. You need a support system with anything, like with anything, especially like with music, because I mean it's call and response. For like, sure, you want people to listen to what you're saying. If that was the case, you would put out a song and let it delete. If you didn't want people to listen to it for real. But I want people to listen to what I'm saying. So I have to respect and support the same people who are listening to me now. Especially, these are the people. Like I said, I'll never be able to have another first show for my first headline tour ever. So them people, that's crazy. In there, I'm always gonna have love for them. Yeah, they seen it. Like they seen something within me that others didn't see it, or others didn't have the opportunity to be like. If anything, it's a blessing for them to be in that room. Yeah, because they gonna get to see me grow. They gonna get to see me fail to the point where like I'm at a huge level doing. Yeah. I could be on stage doing backflips with a full choreography thing. I don't know what I'm gonna turn into, but it's gonna be substantially grow. Like it's gonna grow. Like it's gonna be bigger than what it is now. And y'all got to see it when I was young, in my early 20s, really a child, trying to figure it out and like trying to walk into my path and walk into my light. Y'all got to see it early, and that's a beautiful thing.
And those will always be the people who value you the most as well. Like people love the idea of being connected to an artist as they're on their rise, like as they come up, as they're.
Sounds like some of you on high, like bro, like I don't know, it's a beautiful thing. Like I feel like when I first heard SZA, like when I very first heard SZA, I was like, oh yeah, I'm keeping this myself. Same with Brent. When I first heard Brent, I was like, I'm just keeping it myself. You know?
No, I feel that. I feel that, bro. It's like, but it's cool too, because you can either gatekeep it, or it's like you can tell everybody, and then you want, you know, you're like, you want everybody to know about it. That's my favorite shit. Like when I find like an artist that none of my friends know, which is hard because all my friends know so much music. But it's like when I find something that I'm like, damn, no one has heard this, and I want to put everybody on. That's my favorite thing in the world.
It do hit, but bro, like you gotta think, bro. I was the youngest sibling, bro. Yeah. To the point where it's like, bro, like what? We're not about to listen to what you trying to. That's how my siblings used to treat me. Now it's different. They be asking me for songs and stuff, but like, bro, I'll never forget, bro. I was 11.
That's beautiful.
And I kept trying to show my sisters. I was in the car with them. I was like, there's a song I just heard. It's called Novocaine. I love this song. Whoever this dude is, he is so raw. I was like, he just he got a project called Nostalgia Ultra. I love this song. This is 11-year-old me on my iPod Touch trying to show him. And they was just like, nigga, relax. Like, it's like you're doing too much. Like, you're doing too much. And then now it's like, he one of their favorite artists. And it's like, I'm like, bro, I was like 11 trying to put y'all on. Like, if only I would have like just like listened to me. You could have grown with me when he wasn't putting out music. Like it's to the point where Frank was dropping. I'm talking about dropping videos. Like, I remember that. Like,
bro, when was the last time Frank dropped a video?
Yeah, bro. He just leaked the snippet though. On the story.
I saw. He's not gonna drop it. I'm so done with this shit.
But also, this is the thing. I think he's going to do something. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to necessarily be like an album, but it's like he has been consistently showing people his face. There's a method to this. He ain't just posting because he bored, bro. Because if that,
you're right. He's way too much of a genius to do that.
Shout out Frank though.
Shout out to Frank.
Shit, subtle flex. Shout out Frank.
Louisiana's finest.
Yeah.
When you was there any kind of music scene like where you were growing up in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, I mean there's a music scene right now. I say like it's always been two sides to it. Like it's been like a more, I guess say like a street savvy side, and then more of a eclectic side. And when I say eclectic, it's just more like a fusion of different things. Like you might get your lyricists, you might get your live music appreciation, or even like there's this like I guess you can say pop analog mixed hyper fusion. Like in Louisiana too. Like they got certain artists and they mix it like with bounce. Like it's like a fusion. Like they got that type of stuff too.
Like electronic almost? Like
like imagine like an electronic fusion mixed with bounce. Like
okay.
That it's a sound like that out there too.
That's crazy because I don't know. Like when I think of Louisiana, I think of like there's like a lot of like southern hip hop there, and then there's like jazz and like New Orleans and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's crazy here. There's all kinds of other shit like that going on. That's somewhere I really want to go, bro. I've never been to New Orleans.
Yeah, no, push up.
I really would love to go.
Push up, bro.
Do
I fuck with it.
Do you have the intention to stay, or would you ever move out here?
Oh no, I'm trying to move, bro.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fire. Like if I had some land in the South.
That'd be sick. Yeah.
Yeah. What I really want to do, like, I honestly say it's a short term goal because I don't want to push this and be like, this is gonna take forever to do. This is a short term goal for me.
Yeah.
I want to get like a block of land and then put property on it, and then in these properties, I want people like who like I are in like low income environments. Yeah. Basically, it's like it's like rent free until like you make like a certain amount to where you can sustain yourself. And then I want to be able to have other properties where it's like after you can sustain this, we can allow another family to come in and then give you this property and you have ownership of it.
Whoa.
Because I think it'd be fire when people be like, I'm gonna take all the homeless people, and then when they got the money, they can go about their thing. All right, what if you gave them something that they owned? Now it's like I'm not giving them somewhere they can stay. I'm giving them somewhere their kids and their grandkids can stay. That's the real ownership. That's the generational wealth. Like, and you could do that from just giving somebody property. You know what you could do with property if they want to tear it down and make this a Burger King, business, if they want to, or if they want to make it a nail shop, a barber shop, a school.
Generational wealth that way.
They can do that, and that's generational wealth because wealth isn't monetary. Wealth can be knowledge.
Yeah,
it can be monetary, but like you said, that's a piece of paper. But information that you spread to someone, you can say, "Hey, watch this is about to fall and hit your head."
Yeah.
If I throw $1 at you, that's not gonna stop that from falling and hitting your head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to physically tell you that. So I was like, I don't know. That's something I want to do. I think that'd be like. That's like life purpose thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I know
because I'm tired of seeing people on the side of the street and nobody give a fuck. Literally,
I get it,
to the
bro.
point where it's like, and then I don't know. I just hate when people be like, well, he should have done this and he should have done this.
I hate that
he
shit.
He should have done this. All it's gonna take is a few bad investments and a stock crash, and then this happening, and you be in the same predicament as him. So don't speak that fast. You know?
I hate that shit, bro. That crazy lack of empathy has always been the most arrogant thing to me ever, bro. Like, it's crazy to me that there are literally people in this country who like will look at homeless people and say like, yeah, well, they should just work harder. It's like, do you understand how stupid you sound? You know what I mean? It's just like it's a crazy lack of empathy. Yeah, but it goes back to what you were saying about like that. It's interesting too because like having property like that is physical value. Yeah, that's so different than like the value that comes from having $1,000 or like even having like a bunch of food. That is like actual physical, real world, tangible value that nothing can take from you.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah,
you own it. This is yours. Like, they have to ask you to do things. Yeah, that's when you're free. I feel like when they're asking you for something, or they're asking you and not demanding you. When they're demanding you, you're not truly free.
Yeah, 100%, bro, 100%. I think that's a really, really cool idea. So is it like, would it be structured around like, so you're saying in like an individual would own the property and then they would upkeep the property? Yeah. And then how would that like lead to other ones? More
All right,
property?
so this is what I'm thinking. Specifically in the South, there's acres on acres on acres on acres on acres of land.
Like unused land?
So much land. It's so much unused land. And I'm talking about it's so much land to the point where you can preserve the land and still build land and be within the land, and still show appreciation. Like, I feel like a lot of people have taken away from showing appreciation and gratitude for the land that they walk on, and I feel like that's why there's so many natural disasters, because we don't show enough appreciation. Wow. But I guarantee the house that's built from the person who didn't have nothing is gonna last. Yeah, I know it's gonna last. Like,
they value it more.
Yeah, and not only do they value it more, they're going to want to preserve it. I guarantee if it's easy for someone to say, well, they lost this and they don't want to get a job and they don't want to do this. Imagine if they was given one resource and that one resource was a house.
It breaks the chain.
It literally breaks the chain. Yeah. It's a lot of things that people don't want to wrap their mind around because it's too, I don't know, for some reason it's too complex to think you got a resource in your life. You might not want to, well, I had no handouts, I got it all by myself. It was somebody that you met that met somebody that said something about you when you wasn't in the room that got you that resource, or preserve that resource to keep that resource going enough that at face value, I can do business with you. At face value, I can be a friend of you. At face value, I can trust you. The same things, like a lot of people don't trust people who don't look like them, or don't trust people. And when I say look like them, I'm not saying like complexion wise. I'm just saying like monetary wise, or like physically. Like you're not in the same. Like you on the side of the street. I don't know what you was on 5 years ago or 5 months ago. It'd be that quick for some people. It literally be that quick. Like
there's a divide.
Sometimes people get fucked over. It'd be like it's not even your fault. It's just like the people who are around you. You didn't surround yourself around the greatest people, and you learn that lesson the hard way. So it's like it's to the point where like, all right, I feel like everybody should be forgiven to an extent, you know. Everybody should be given another chance because I feel like I'm deserving of another chance when I fuck up. So it just gets to the point where like if I gave somebody one resource that they can give to their kids, this has become an abundant resource because it's something that I don't know. It's like one day they're gonna be like, "How you got this land?" And then they're like, they might say, "Well, I got this land from this program that I was in where I got to live here and then live here," and then they'll be like, damn, I want to do that. Like literally. And like I said, not only did I break the generational like curses and break the generational chains, I've instilled a different way of
thinking,
giving like love to the land and giving love to the people who walk the land and inhabit the earth that we on. It's to the point where it's like a lot of people aren't trying to go towards that direction. It's almost to the point where it's like a lot of things are taken from us, so let's keep this before they take it away. Like I don't want to live in a place where I feel like I'm going to lose everything that I have. If I can lose it, it wasn't mine to begin with.
And it's
That's
all,
how I feel.
It just feels like, I think it's all the time. I think people are just way too fast to judge. And I think people are way too fast to like develop these tribalist mentalities where it's like, literally, it's me versus you or you versus me or us versus them.
I mean, we're conditioned to be that way.
It's biological, bro. Yeah, that's the crazy part about it is that like it's almost in human nature.
Yeah,
it's almost in human nature to like be a predator and like, you know, surround yourself with like the like groups. It's tribalism is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy thought, but I think that is what fuels like the arrogance that people have to like look at maybe a homeless person or like, you know, somebody who's like poor or has like made bad decisions in their life and look at them and like judge them like they wouldn't make the same decisions if they weren't brought up in that same environment.
Man, you know, like you never know. You honestly never know. I'll be having conversations with some of my close friends where it's like you really don't know. Like I went to high school with people that I didn't know was homeless, sleeping in the car.
Wow, that's like, crazy.
And I used to wonder, like, bro, he always crashing out. He always doing this. He always doing that. And I'm not understanding, like, they literally were, like, not only a product of their environment, they were feeling subdued in that environment to the point where they didn't have, when you don't have a different perspective, like, who am I to judge you? Like, you literally, like, at the end of the day, like, you're not judging me. Like, you only judge me from what you can comprehend, from what I show you. Now, imagine all the things that I don't show you. So imagine like, all right, if this me at my worst right now, imagine the preparation that I'm doing to get to my best version of myself that you don't see. Like the times where I'm like literally thinking like, damn, I probably shouldn't have treated this person that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to time travel and go back into the past. If anything, I'm trying to plant these seeds to grow so I can see the future look greater than what I used to be. I don't want to be as great as my past. I want to be greater than that, you know?
Wow. Yeah, 100%. No, I know exactly what you mean.
Back to that nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, let's bring the band back. I don't want to be that. Like, honestly, if I was that, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. It'd be a completely different environment.
What way? What do you mean?
I don't want to be a super good version of what I used to be. I want to be greater than that.
Yeah.
I want to expand. I want to be an excellent version of myself.
Yes.
Not only just a good version. I was a little good here and I was a little great there. But I'm still, you know, like I don't want to be that. Like I want to be an excellent version of myself, and I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm saying that in a way where, like I was saying, I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good brother.
100%.
I want to be a good cousin. That's like what I'm really striving to be. And like through that, it's gonna show in my music because the people at the show they're gonna show it for me. Like the people who come in, you gonna know, like just from how I'm carrying myself or the work that I'm putting in to become that, you know?
And I think when you're able to develop other areas of your life to the point where like you are a master in multiple things, right? So maybe in your life it's like for you maybe it's like you said, like you're a master at being a brother, you're a master at being a son or a husband or whatever it is, you know, like when you can develop those things, because those are also skills. It's like those subliminally make everything else you do stronger. I had a friend one time tell me that like every piece of art that you consume affects your art in some manner. I think that's very, very, very true. It's like every facet of your life goes into your music, whether you even realize it or not. And I think that's the same with everybody's art. You know, there's this Matthew McConaughey quote that I think of all the time. He always says, "My hero is myself in 5 years, and I'm never going to be my hero." I think that's very, very, very true. You know, it's like you should never be looking at like I think your hero should be the best version of yourself. It shouldn't be somebody else. I think idolism is very, very dangerous and very scary. Like when we start looking at other people as like gods or as idols or as like, like they're untouchable in any way, shape, or form, we then forget that like we can be that for ourselves. Because like giving somebody that power in the physical world is like really, it's genuinely dangerous. It's like, we see it with politicians, we see it with like, artists. Idolization of religion, we see it with everything, even idolization of other musicians or whatever. But it's like when you can become your own idol, when like the idea of you in 5 years can become your biggest inspiration, that is when I think you can begin to understand what your true potential is.
Yeah, bro. We only scratching the surface with this conversation, bro. I feel like some people gonna start tapping into their potential after this one. Holla. I'm trying to tell you.
That's crazy. I want to ask you about the title of the album because it feels like it relates to this a little bit. Where did the title of the new album come from?
All right, so initially it was gonna be some people scream, some people cry, some people talk. And I
like
wanted
that.
to divide those three emotions through like the tracks. So like the first half is the scream side. So like basically I was going through different things where it'd be times in my life where this is what I physically wanted to scream. Or it was times where I wanted to scream and I couldn't scream just because of if I scream, I'm the angry black dude. I'm the angry black dude in the room. So I can't scream. But someone else in the room could scream, but they're not going to be held to the same standard as I was.
Yeah.
So it's certain times where it's like I know certain people who feel just like me, where it's like, I don't know, in certain situations where I was belittled and I wanted to scream and I couldn't. Or also like at the root of it, certain times where I'd be triggered so much where I felt like in arguments I had to scream. And then in the middle of the project, I have like a shrooms trip that kind of made me reflect and understand, and I started decompressing. I had a shrooms trip with somebody that I'm super close with. I just started breaking down, like literally breaking down and realizing like certain parts of myself through like my relationships with even my parents, where I was like, damn, I didn't talk about this. Like I felt some type of way about this and I didn't shed this, and I'm carrying this. And then after that shrooms trip, I'm like, I'm releasing it. And after that, it's like I kind of, all the later songs in the project are the emotions of me talking out grief, talking out love, talking out trust, talking out distrust, like talking out the things that I hated in life and the things that I'm learning that I don't hate. I need to learn to appreciate them and understand them. And if I don't like them, I can at least respect them. That's why some people scream, some people talk. And I said some people because it's like I don't want it to just be about me. I want it to be about every person who listens to it.
Yeah.
And some people will get it and some people won't. And like literally at the end of the day, like that's how we are. At the end of the day, we're just people, you know? You know?
That's such an interesting idea. I've never, and I mean, honestly, as a white man, obviously I've never had to consider that, but it's like, that is a very, very interesting idea that like, you'd be interpreted that way if you scream versus the way that somebody else would. Yeah. You know, that's such like, I've never had to like, obviously never had to think about that.
Also like, it have been conversations that I share with my mom, like, my mom's brother, he's doing life right now, like in jail. And it's like, it's certain times where I was going through a certain phase, like when I was a teenager, where she was strictly not trying to make me be him. And it's to the point where it's like, I literally had to be like, I'm not him. But she was like, well, you do this and you do this. He was doing this. You do this. He was doing this. It was certain times where I was wilding out. But I mean, all teenagers wild out, you know?
Of course, yeah, it's growing up.
Some have the privilege to wild out and nothing and be no repercussions for it. And she would just try to drill on me. Wow. You don't have that privilege. You don't have that privilege. But it got to the point where I feel like this is what we have a beautiful relationship. But I think in those years, it was like hard for her to comprehend. I feel like just like as a mother and as a woman, like certain things that I'm going through as a man, to the point where it's like, it's not that I want to walk in the same direction that he's going through. I'm trying to learn what it is to be a man. Yeah. And being that I you know, like certain things that I
and there's
don't
trial
understand.
And error there, and you have to fail and just try, you have to figure out what doesn't feel right.
You have to understand. But it's like we've gotten closer to like you understand that like honestly, I'm trying to walk in a path that is like abundant of light. But at certain times, like, as well, like, I might do some things that you might consider certain, like, dark, or, like, feeling like this isn't, you probably shouldn't be doing this, but it's a certain way you can, I don't know, like, you could treat me in that process. And it's kind of like I was saying, like, being in certain rooms, like, since a young age, bro, like, that was just drilled into me, and I used to never understand, like, why am I being disciplined this hard? Or, like, why are y'all pushing this narrative on me that other people perpetuate in certain situations when it's like, I know that's not me. I know I'm not him, even though I might look like him. I'm obviously my own entity. I'm obviously my own soul, my own spirit. Yeah. I understood that at a young age. That's why I used to ask so many questions. Like when I was very young, I used to ask so many questions to the point where I used to hate when I asked my parents a question, they'd be like, because I told you so.
I hate that shit.
I used to hate that shit. I used to literally hate that shit. And then like it got to the point where I got older, where I be like, if I'm asking a question, it's not because I'm trying to disrespect you. It's because I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand because like it be genuine times where it's like I wasn't like the other kids. Like the other kids you could talk to them that way, but I don't want you to talk to me that way. Yeah. I'm a different person because I'm not gonna talk to you that way if you don't want to be talked to that way. So I feel the same way with my parents. Yeah. That's why like it's a real respect. Like it's a real respect because I feel like you have to respect your elders. It don't matter if I don't know you or if you're a different race. You have to respect those older than you because you've been through life longer than I have. 100%. So you may have seen more than I have. Yeah. But at the same time, the life that I'm growing into right now and the generation that we're in, we're seeing life in a different way. In a facet that y'all couldn't understand in some ways. Because it's like we're seeing a different light. We're seeing different things like the planet, for example. Yeah. All of the cars, all of the pollution. The climate has changed due to the things that the people older than us were doing. They might have not been their fault completely. They didn't understand what they were doing to the environment, but we're younger and we understand y'all did this, so now we have to preserve this or we won't be here. Yeah. So certain conversations I'll be having with my mama, like about certain things, like with shrooms, for example. Mm-hmm. Like literally, like I remember we was talking about shrooms because she didn't really fuck with that, like how I fuck with like psychedelics. And I was just trying to break it down to her. It's like I can get in the car right now and drink a fifth of Henny and kill a family, like literally kill a family, or I can go to the crib around people that I love and trust.
Elevate my mindset. Quite literally break down physical barriers that I cannot see in my brain right now.
The same things that may have crippled you growing up. When 100%. You was my age, I am shedding that curse. Like I'm literally breaking a bondage that you didn't even know you had. Yeah. And because at the end of the day, like we extensions of our parents, whether we like it or not. 100%. You held me for 9 months. You know what type of energy it is to be in a womb? Like literally, like you literally held me for 9 months. So like I am. All of that energy that's attached to you, I can't shed that. I am you. Yeah. Like I am you, and if anything, I want to be the greatest version of you. 100%. Just I don't want to be greater than my kid. My kid should be greater than me. So like it's not to the point where it's like my mom or my dad aren't great people, but it's like I learned from y'all to be greater. So like certain ways like that, I don't know, certain ways that they treated me, they were just trying to figure out life the way they understood it, or the way they were disciplined, or the way they was told like this is going to instill character in you. And I just be having certain things where it's like, all right, I can interpret my mindset because it's like I have my own brain because y'all taught me to be that way. So it's to the point where they did push me to be like a unique person, you know, or unique in a way where it's like have your own brain. They always use the stress on me. Do not follow him. Do not follow her.
Don't follow
Lead
anybody.
yourself. Yeah. Because you're going to keep following, and one day you're going to look up and run straight into the door just because you ain't follow yourself, you know? So,
dude, isn't it a crazy moment when you realize your parents are human beings? Like, it's the weirdest thing ever. But it's like when you realize that, like, because we grew up, bro, thinking our parents are gods. Like, we grew up thinking our parents are, like, perfect in every way, shape, and form, and everything they do is educated and smart, and it's perfect. Like, they're our parents. It's the best way they can ever go about it. But when you realize that they're human beings and they're flawed, in the same way that we are, it's so freeing because you understand that, like, you know, things that they might have done wrong when I was growing up or you growing up or whatever, it's like that is because they're flawed individuals in the same way that I am. And it's like you guys are then on the same playing field. You become level, you know. That would probably be such an interesting conversation to explain mushrooms to, like, your mom. That's like
but I really like and then clinically it's been proven to cure depression.
Have
like,
you are you
test on this,
are you super interested in like all that stuff?
What, like shrooms? Yeah, no, bro, I'm trying to get like I wanted to be a toxicologist for a point in my life. I'm incredibly interested. I'm pretty deep into it, but it's like I'm trying to understand like why certain different types of shrooms give different, like it has this like emotional balance, or like sometimes with like physically that day I might have a certain imbalance, and then I'll trip. Why do I feel this way? Like I'm trying to understand the feeling thing. Like I'm just a curious kid. Like youngest outside of shrooms, like when I was young, bro, I used to just ask so many questions. I used to be like, if they print the money, why are they in debt?
That's the same shit.
That was the first question I had. I may have been 5. I may have been 5, right? And then they were like,
the logical way of thinking, though.
And they were like, well, it's checks and balances. And I was like, why do they have checks and balances? Like, it'd be certain things that I couldn't comprehend. But now it's to the point where I've changed her whole mindset on a lot. And that's
beautiful, bro.
That's a beautiful thing. Like certain things that I do, she did not expect her son to want to do. Yeah. But it's like she can appreciate it because it's like I'm truly myself. I'm truly authentically myself, and that's all she wanted me to really be.
And you can teach her in the same way she taught you.
Yeah, like she says it like she says there's certain things that she did in her life she regretted that she trusted everyone around her walking in the light, working for this person for 20 to 25 years versus investing into herself, investing into what she loved. It got to the point where she had to ask herself, what do I love? What do I like to do? And like it literally, she said out her mouth, I started figuring out certain things that I love to do from you at a young age, telling me what you love to do and not being afraid to do it, like not having that fear. Same with my father though, you know? Yeah. We just be having them conversations, you know?
I totally feel you on that. Like I think like as I've gotten older, I've got to the point where like me and my mom have conversations now, opposed to where it used to just kind of be like her telling me things, and she was like, "This is the way it is. This is why. That's it." But it's like now it's like I can have conversations with her, and it's like there are things that I believe that have come across my brain, and I've had thoughts that I've formulated. It's like the process of beginning to realize like you have original thoughts and they're contrary to your parents, and that's okay.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah,
you can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, like I said, surface level, I will respect your mindset.
100%. You know? Yeah.
At a young age, it's just like I'll respect your mindset forever. I just with anybody, I just want that mutual respect, and me like. Whether I'm 23, 33, or 13, like I always just wanted that respect. And when you actually respect someone, that's a form of love. Yeah. That's a form of companionship. Like being able to respect your mind. Like it don't get no deeper for that. I could never be in love with any woman that didn't respect my mind as much like as I respected hers. Yes. Because at the end of the day, it will be a disconnect. Because it's going to be times where I'm talking about things that I truly feel on my heart. Or truly feel in my mind, and if you can't comprehend that enough to respect it, or not comprehend it, if you can't respect it enough to take the initiative to want to care about my mind, it's like how could you care about me? Like this is every part of me.
100%, dude. I've had so many of those conversations about like mushrooms. Have you ever? This is what I always pull up when I have these conversations. I'm trying to explain these things to people.
Pull it up.
I'm sure you've seen this picture, but
now put me on.
This I think you'd find this interesting. Your brain on mushrooms versus sober. This graph right here is fascinating to me. So I'll show the camera. But what this is pretty much, so it's a map of your brain neurons. Okay. If they were colored to like make sense to be like visible to our eyes, essentially.
Yeah, because we can't see it all like with the.
Yeah, exactly. But so this is like they graphed this in a way that the human eye can interpret. That's why there's all the colors. This is your brain sober. This is your brain on mushrooms.
Crazy.
And the way that the neurons connect is quite literally like something you can't achieve without it. So this is like placebo. That's on psilocybin. Yeah. So it's like and to give I'm not sure how well you can see this, but like to give context, it's like the purple only connects to the red once in the placebo, but on the psilocybin one, the purple connects to the red like 100 times. It's like there are quite literally ways that like we are interpreting the physical world that we can't interpret when we're not on psilocybin. But like when our brain is impacted by psilocybin, or like I can never say the chemical name of LSD, lethargic tryptamine or whatever it is. Yeah. But it's like there are substances that affect our brain in the way like different neurons connect that we cannot connect during like normal just normal sober mindset. It's like there's mind and what's always blown my mind, it's crazy, is like being on mushrooms and realizing that like there are things that like you see that don't exist in the physical world, and I'm not watching anything, like I'm just looking, and it's like I can see things that like are not there in the physical world, but they exist, like they fully exist. Like the things you're seeing there, they exist in your head. So it's so crazy to think that like there might be another plane in which those exist in real life. Like there might be another reality at which the thing that you're seeing when you're on mushrooms is what somebody interprets in general. So it's like it's just crazy to think that like there's literally neurons in your brain that cannot be accessed in certain ways until you're under the influence of psilocybin.
I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and then like they be trying to, I don't know, like people be trying to shit on like the psychedelics that come from the earth. Yeah. But would rather eat like a muffin in the store that's fake. That's all that's straight chemicals. It's not even a real muffin.
I'm gonna eat Lay's barbecue chips, but not a mushroom.
Yeah, but when I eat a mushroom, and then like, what do you think everybody ancestors was using?
Yeah.
Like we're not the first to use them. Yeah. Like, somebody was using them. Yeah. Like, so, That's just how I feel about it.
I think it's silly, bro. But I do think it's changing. Like I think our generation is definitely starting to interpret these things as like not drugs but tools.
Yeah,
because I really think they are. I really believe they're tools.
I mean, like, all right, when you was watching, or when they first came out with the TV,
yeah,
all right, even when you was younger, when they calling it, what are you watching? Your regularly scheduled what?
Your program.
You were programmed. Yeah. You're literally programmed to see things a certain way, see things in a certain light. And the generation, my mom was born in 1967. So like in middle school or like elementary school is when integration started for her.
Okay.
Like for her generation, that's when integration was. Uh-huh. So like I can only imagine what she was seeing on the TV to think certain things about herself.
Yeah.
Yet alone certain things she thought about the world. So imagine how she might have felt when you go into class and they telling you shrooms, don't do them.
Yeah.
Shrooms no, don't do them.
Yeah.
Weed, don't do it.
What do you think she's gonna do? Question that? Yeah, of course not.
Why wouldn't, like, especially in her formative years, like you gonna have a preconceived notion on it just because of how you were informed on it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, I don't know, like a majority of the time the things people show on the television, it's all different people who have different motives and different like things that they want to get off, versus people actually having the access to someone being able to say everything about it, or at least a multitude of sides of it. You just seeing one side of it, and majority of the time the things that you are seeing from the people who have the money enough for you to see it.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine the people who don't have money, who have a immense amount of knowledge on something.
Yeah.
They just don't have enough money to use it
to
or
share
like
it.
market it a certain way that someone who already had a company or a network for decades can show, and they own it. And then like just like the censorship, bro, like certain things will be blocked, certain things will be cut off. And then like I can only imagine, bro, if there's a point in time where they thought it was a heinous act for someone to be on TV kissing, and that's a normal, like that's a very normal thing.
It's like every show now.
Like you know, like so.
It's crazy to think that like there are people, like one thing I think about all the time is like the fact that there's most likely somebody who has the cure to cancer out there.
Yeah.
But like they just can't do anything about it.
Trying for you to come,
like,
we'll get deep into that.
Like that's a crazy thought to me. Like there's most likely, like that's a crazy thought. Yeah, no, it's weird, bro. I don't know if I fully subscribe to this idea, but sometimes in my head I like to think about the idea that like the only reason mushrooms are scheduled as a Schedule 1 substance is because there's somebody who's afraid of us unlocking the full potential of our brain on psilocybin. Yeah. I don't know if I believe that, but I kind of like to believe it sometimes. It makes the world a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I definitely feel like everybody should try shrooms once.
I agree. Everybody should just stop.
I don't think on the same day. Yeah. But I think everybody should. Yeah.
On the same day would be crazy.
Bro, imagine if everybody did shrooms on the same day.
Pump that shit in the water, bro.
Yeah, bro. You ever watch Snowfall?
No, it's
bro,
not.
They got an episode on Snowfall. It's just a crazy, show that was on FX. It just ended like last year or this year. But like basically, there's an episode where they have a wedding, and at the wedding, and mind you, like most of the main characters are like super big, bossed up drug dealers.
Okay.
This is like in the 80s when like crack was getting super prevalent, and they capitalized on it, but they didn't understand like the depths of how like it was gonna fuck up the community. They had no idea. Another conversation.
Yeah.
Basically in the show, one of the main characters, like I'm saying, like he barely laughs. Like he don't even laugh because
he's
like,
a hard character.
Yeah, like he's just like in the beginning he used to be so like vibrant, but it's just like through time that's just what he turned into. Like he turned into like almost like the villain. Like when he was like the protagonist, the one that you was rooting for, but then you like damn like. But in this episode, bro, he basically goes to a wedding with one of his allies, and he put up like with the wedding gifts. Everybody pulling up with the wedding gifts, and then they asked him like the dude name was Scully. He was like, oh, what was your gift? He's like, oh yeah, I put it in the punch.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, everybody was tripping, bro.
And that's what we should do to the LA River.
Yo.
I'm just saying, bro.
You know what's crazy, bro?
Low key.
It would be pros and cons if everybody in LA was on shrooms. Yeah. Bro, I be seeing people where I feel like they on shrooms, ayahuasca. Like I feel like they on everything you could think of. They on everything you already. So it's like, you know.
What's crazy to me is that like psilocybin has helped people get off other drugs. Yeah. And then people still think that it's like people still call shrooms a drug when people have gotten sober because of shrooms.
Yeah. True. That's how you want to look at it.
Yeah. The John Hopkins study on terminally ill cancer patients and their outlook on death. Psilocybin, are you familiar with that one?
Nah, I'm not familiar with
that one's so incredible to me. So it's this study that Johns Hopkins School of Medicine did where they took a bunch of terminally ill cancer patients and had them rate their outlook on death. They then took, obviously they're gonna die, so obviously they weren't very happy about it. Yeah. And then they all took mushrooms, and the way they rated their outlook on death after, it was like 96% more net positive. Yeah. It was like crazy, dude.
Damn, I'm gonna get deep on that.
Yeah, it's wild to think about.
Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, it's a Johns Hopkins School of Medicine study.
So
yeah, it's It's one of the craziest ones. Yeah, that's cool. All right, okay.
We did it.
Last thing I'll ask you one more question though. If there was one thing that you could spread through your music over the next like 5 to 10 years, while you're moving your way through your 20s, what do you think that one message would be?
The power of self. I feel like when you think of the word self, it gets to the point where you gotta understand self, like just having self-love, to be selfless, like enough to care and give everything. Like I want it to be to the point where it's like I'm not making this music just for myself. I'm making this music to be selfless. Wow. I'm making this music to not hold on to things that I know can help somebody. All right, holding on to things that I know I can help myself so I can help others. Because if I can't help myself, I can't help nobody. Yeah. So I want it in the next 5 to 10 years. I hope my music can get to the point where I've removed my self-pride and I've learned to have true self-love and to be truly selfless.
To give those parts of you to somebody else.
Yeah. Literally.
That's beautiful, bro.
Thanks.
I think that is what music is. It's simultaneously the most selfish thing you can do and the most selfless thing that you can do.
Yeah.
It's like it's like it's for you, but it's for everybody else too.
Yeah,
it's
duality.
Beautiful.
It's both. It's both sides. Like I'm making it, but I also know you're receiving it.
Yes.
And when you're receiving it, I'm making it further.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, brother.
You, bro.
That was amazing, man. That was such a good conversation. That was like one of my favorites ever.
Hey, let's go. That
was so cool.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. New record's out. Tell them where they can get it, where they can stream, where they can buy tickets to your tour.
Bruh. You could buy tickets at Wakai2000.com. You can stream me on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, even SoundCloud. Like,
yep.
Yeah. Hey, I know some of y'all still on SoundCloud for real, so you could bump it there. Like, and if you catch me in the forest, protect the grizzly bear. No, you need to protect the grizzly bear. Though, Y'all know nothing about Mystical, bro? That's crazy. You don't know Mystical, bro?
No.
All right. He got a song where it's like, if I'm in the forest, don't worry, protect the bear. Like, he's saying like, if a grizzly bear was in the forest,
fuck up the bear.
He'll fuck up the bear.
Hell
so
yeah.
like, I fuck up the bear, me. Like,
all 2024, we fucking up bears.
Yeah, and also like, with the quickness, I stand on business. Like, so like.
Oh, that sounds like an E40 bar.
Bro, like.
E40 would say shit like that, bro. His one-liner's crazy.
Yeah, I gotta make my ism for the schism.
Yeah,
ism.
bro. You think you ism?
I just had an ism real quick. Ism.
All right. Thank you, bro. That was hella fun. I appreciate you, man. I'm ready. Music matters.